tried to hold us back, to hold us, tried to hold us back.
We will be here forever. Do you understand?
Hey, it's Shan here. This week I speak with Sam Larkins. Sam's a sponsored skateboarder, originally from Queensland, now living in Sydney. So it's quite skate heavy this episode. We do talk a lot about skateboarding. We're joined by Mr. Ben Currie, former guest, and he co-hosts this week. We recorded Ben's house in the northern suburbs of Sydney, in the beautiful bushland area that he lives, with Ben's dog Brutus hanging out, chewing bones. And there's a bit of sound in the background of Brutus chewing on his bone, but there's also sounds of like rad native birds as well. And it's just a really nice, relaxed conversation about Sam's life so far. Talks about his early years growing up in what is quite a basketball-centric family. His father was a former professional player. His mother was also a player as well at an elite level. And he talks about how their family went on to open up an indoor skate park in Queensland and the challenges that posed. But he also talks about much, much more. Delves into a little bit about, pulling the trigger on, moving away from his home to, I guess, what is the big city of Sydney, to somewhat of chase a dream, but more just follow his passion and love for skateboarding. And it's legit. Sam's legit. Hanging out with him on the weekend, and we went skating in the city all day, and he was filming, and he's filming a video part. So I sort of just tagged along, and I actually just grabbed a bunch of footage on my phone of just sort of behind the scenes stuff. So I've put a little rough cuts type edit together called THT before the episode, because often with these podcasts, like rad stuff happens before we even record, especially when I'm hanging out with skaters. We do some cool stuff, go skating. So just wanted to capture that, just all the shenanigans that go on, getting kicked out of spots, talking shit, hanging out. And yeah, Sam was throwing down as well. So it's fun. And like I said, it was good having Ben on the episode. Actually, go and check out Ben's past episode. He was like, I think it was episode 203. So if you want to go back in the back catalogue and check that one out. But, Ben brings his own flavour to it, and they talk a lot about how they met and how they vibe off each other. So that was fun. Anyway, enjoy. It's a good episode.
He tried to hold us, he tried to hold us, then he tried to hold us back. What's the thing?
Child of the crayon, child of the light, styles of the neon belong to a culture destined to rock for eons. Time doesn't exist, shut those cataracts, capture the virtualist. Now, let's get back to what makes things seem forever, whether it's unseen, unheard, or 16 again.
Yeah, I think it comes from being scared. Like, I think that's the only reason that I have a weird thought process about it. I don't think, obviously, if I go to the spot, I want to try and do the trick, like, that I've thought of, or, like, just try and skate the spot for seeing, like, what the spot is.
Yeah.
But I definitely had the feeling, for sure. Did
you have it yet? Did you have it yesterday?
When I stuck on the first one, yeah, a little bit, because I thought that I was going to just do the exact same thing, but, like, it being a lip slide, I thought that it would be way worse. Like, I'd just fall to my chest on the ledge.
Yeah, do you reckon it's like sometimes it's not a good idea to try the safety trick first?
Yeah. Sorry.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what sort of spot. Like, for spots like that, like, it can obviously go wrong, but I think I'd rather it go wrong on, like, a warm-up trick.
Really?
Yeah, just because I feel like for the trick yesterday, for instance, like that one, I'd much rather it go wrong on a board slide than a lip slide, because I guess just like the run up being like kind of rough or whatever, and like, missing your pop on a boardy, like, is going to be a little less consequential than like a lip slide in my eyes,
I guess.
Because a board slide, you can kind of just like shy away and sit on the side of it, whereas a lip slide, you kind of got to go. You got to pop over it.
You have to be on top of it.
Yeah, and if you miss your pop on a lip slide, like, you're done. Like lip slides, the one thing you have to do is just pop over the rail. Like,
was there any stage though yesterday at that particular spot where you were just like, I just don't feel like trying this?
Probably not yesterday, because it was like last spot and I wanted to get something. I was definitely scared just because of the situation. like going onto a main road's always real fun. But yeah, definitely more so just scared.
Okay.
But like I definitely wanted to do the trick because
You felt motivated.
Yeah, I wanted to do something.
How do you overcome that, Ben? That feel like you must get that yucky feeling when you don't know if you're going to make this, and it's painful, and there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
What do you do?
I guess you got to, like, for starters, you have to, like, trust the people that are spotting you, and, like, you put a lot of faith in them, and you got to be, if you really are feeling, like, uneasy about it, I'm always, like, pretty stern with them, like, hey, don't let me go unless it's completely clear. Like, I don't want to deal with a pedestrian that's, like, off in the distance or, like, just to the side or whatever, and the person spotting you might think, oh, they'll make it through there or whatever, and you got to kind of navigate, like, looking at them in your peripherals while you're about to try this trick that you're pretty nervous about. So for me, I'm always, like, pretty firm in that regard, where I'm like, don't tell me to go unless it's completely clear, you know, because for me, like, having that tiny little bit of distraction there.
Fuck. Sorry.
It's all right.
Dropped my phone. Keep going.
Yeah, for me, having that tiny little bit of distraction there, it's just, like, enough to break my focus, even, like, the slightest bit. It can go, like, incredibly wrong, you know? So for me, if I'm going to try a trick, I want to be able to, like, completely focus on the trick and not be distracted by anything else at all. But obviously when you're street skating, it's hard to completely eliminate all of those factors, particularly like a spot like Sam skated yesterday onto a main road. Like, there's kind of, at some point, there's always going to be something that's going to interfere. And if it's not, you know, a moving object like a car or a person, it is like the setup of the spot. Yeah, it was incredibly windy yesterday.
Big
the ground
gust.
was rough as fuck. And even if it wasn't rough, it's like a gnarly spot that if you fuck up, you're going to get pretty axed on it, you know? So, yeah, for me, it's like being able to eliminate as much of those outside factors as I can and just be able to completely focus on the task at hand, basically. Yeah. But it is hard, for sure. Yeah. It's like, it's a mental battle. You got to, like, convince yourself that everything's all right and you can do it even when you're not completely confident, you know?
Do you guys know Grilf, Ben Watts?
Yep.
He got hit by a car.
True.
Because his homie...
Oh, yeah, in Canberra on that big rail.
Yeah, because his homie had a...
What?
His homie who was spotting
Had a
had a lapse in concentration.
Yeah.
But Ben doesn't like to actually blame his homie for it, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Someone's at fault there, for sure.
Someone's
it's
at
not the
fault.
car, it's not the skater.
Yeah, and he got hit by a car, but...
Yeah.
And, like, because he's so agile, like, he kind of, like, was able to, I think, quickly turn and bounced off it.
Yep.
Have you seen the footage,
I
Sam?
haven't seen the footage of that, but like a very, very close friend of mine, Pat Gemzik, he got hit by a car in Brisbane, and it was fucking gnarly. Like
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he backside 5-0'd like a 13 hubber or something, and proper, like, I don't know. He might have had a spotter. I don't know. I can't see in the footage, but he backside 5-0's down this huge hubber, and literally, like, it was like that. It was best of the worst scenario, I guess. Like, he hit the side of the car. He didn't get, like, totally smoked.
Yep.
But he put a fucking dent in the thing. Yeah. Like,
Was he all right?
yeah, this is the funniest part is, like, I've talked to him about it. He said that he just, like, acted real hurt because he didn't want to have to, like, pay insurance or some shit.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
That's what happened to Grilf.
So he just laid there and just, like, you know, kind of sandbagged it, being like, oh, fuck, I'm real sore. And,
Yeah.
like, and
You just ran me over.
yeah. And the driver being like, fuck. And then he got up and fucking tamed it. Like, landed. It was in a
kept
line.
skating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did flat ground trick, did tray flip, then did something before it. And then, like, a back 5-0. Yeah.
That's what happened to Ben. Like, the driver freaked out so bad, like, he was going to get in trouble. He just, like, bailed and his car was, like, trashed. Like,
Wow.
Yeah. And then, you're like, all right, let's get up and get the trick.
What about, didn't that Ben James, Backwards Benny, didn't he have a gnarly incident like that in New York, like, a long time ago? And he, like, I think it was, like, a real serious one. He, like, hit his head real bad, and there was, like, a GoFundMe out there for him because I don't think he had travel insurance or anything like that. There was, like, huge medical bills that he had to cover, and it was, like, gnarly. Like, he almost died, apparently.
no way.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah. There was like an article in Slam about it and stuff,
He's
I
the-
think. And
PD skater, right?
Yep. Yep.
Do you know that skater Blondie? He skates for Adidas.
Blondie McCoy or whatever.
I think so. He skates for Adidas. He's like Europe. Lives in
Yep.
Europe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he got hit by a car too.
True.
Yeah. I think, don't quote me on that, but it rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing.
Yep.
But like just got away with it. And I think skaters are so, I think we forget how good we are at falling. Like, because like my son skates now and he wears a helmet. He's like, Dad, like, why don't you wear a helmet too when you skate?
Yep.
And then I've had other friends go, you're a dad now, you got to wear a helmet. I'm like, I'm not wearing a helmet.
Like,
Like,
do shit.
and then I'm like, and I couldn't explain to them, like, they're like, why? Like, I couldn't explain to them why. And I'm like, and I'm now, my answer is now like, I've been skating for 30 years. Like, I know how to fall.
Yeah.
I've learned how to fall. So that's my comeback now.
Yeah, 100%. I got pressed on the helmet thing by my folks.
Oh,
and
you
shit.
would have after your incident.
What was that?
Shed some light on that for us, Sam.
Okay, so we were filming for Table Manners, a video that Harry Pascoe did, and we went to like a bank, or it's like a hill spot essentially, but we're going into a driveway, and I think Jet might have kick flipped it as well. I can't remember exactly, but like from the entrance of a house, and they've got like an over rail into like their driveway, and it was really steep.
Really?
And I did a front 180 over it, and then like, rolling down switch, and I tried to, I did one, and then I hit the curb on the other side of the road and like just kind of slid off into the grass. And I was like being a bit narky, and I was like, oh no, I can like make the corner and go down the hill. And so I did it again, and then like cessed back around to regular and did a tray flip of all tricks, because yesterday I did a tray flip on the road.
That was sick. High speed.
Yeah. So like same situation. And to be honest, like same sort of gradient. The road wasn't that steep. Just unlucky. Did a tray flip. And then I did a frontside cess slide, and I remember that, but the backside one I don't. I did like a backside cess afterwards, and I fell and hit my head. And
So you like did the typical like backside power slide and grip and got slingshotted back to your head, right?
like on your heels, just grab and then fall backwards. And Riley was the first dude that saw me. And I was,
Riley Pavey?
yeah, legend, like best fucking dude. And
Best friend?
I mean, like close to it. He's the homie. So I don't remember the backside cess slide and obviously falling over. But according to like all the boys that were there, I was like still with it. I was talking to them, but I was like bleeding out of my ear, and at the time I didn't know that, or they didn't either, but I'd like fractured the back of my skull and had a brain bleed. Fuck. Yeah.
How'd your parents respond to that?
To begin with, not well. Like,
In what way?
well, so like I obviously got like rushed to hospital. And then like I can't really recall like 48-ish hours, but I went to hospital, and my parents like met me there and whatnot. And I don't really know, like I can't really say like it was, like a near-death experience, because I don't fucking know. Like I wasn't conscious, but according to the doctors, it was pretty serious. And, obviously like my mum hearing that's like going to be pretty bummed out, and my dad too. But when I like kind of came to my senses, like a day or two later or whatever, I did like the classic, like was in a hospital bed, and I was like, oh, what the fuck are we doing here? Yeah.
So you didn't even know like why you were there or what had happened when you actually came to.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you don't remember
it's gnarly.
You don't remember the incident?
No, so I don't remember. So it goes like 180, roll, cess back to regular, tray flip, I remember that. Frontside cess slide, I remember that. Backside and falling over, I don't remember that. And then waking up in hospital like a day or so later. And I can't, to be honest, I don't know the exact time frame, but I know that it was a few days, because like, friends that were there had like messaged my phone, and I could see like that it was a day or so before. But back to the question. Mum was pretty scared by it, but my dad, like once I woke up and I was like, oh, like Mum, Dad, like what's going on? And my dad was like, he's all sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't, I wasn't a vegetable or whatever. Like I didn't forget who they were. So my dad was kind of like, it's all good. It's pretty funny. But yeah, Mum Mum took it pretty rough to begin with, for sure. But
Rough as in what way? Like, I want you to stop skating?
no, fuck no.
Oh, rad.
No, yeah, they're super supportive. They just
Rough as in she was emotional.
yeah, for sure. Because I'm one of two, and I'm the youngest one. And I guess she was just like afraid that, I might be like not all there, or like and knowing
Just a traumatic thing for her to go through, seeing you in that condition.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because it was, again, like I to be fair, I don't really know what. Like I know that they cut some of the back of my hair out to like, stitch my gash up or whatever, and then I had a brain bleed, but I don't know what exactly like went on in those couple of days, and like my parents do, and it was obviously like kind of gnarly because it was like a neuro ward thing, being surrounded by a bunch of raging junkies and shit.
Really?
Oh well, it's a neuro ward,
Like neurological
yeah,
ward?
yeah. And
So-
so people are like losing their shit.
Also, people...
Schizophrenics and
Yeah.
stuff.
Also,
Yeah,
people
right.
who are not just people with brain injuries, people who are mentally ill.
I'm not 100% sure because I didn't know the other people like
Okay.
in the ward or whatever. But there was like, I was in the hospital for like just shy of like 2 weeks, or maybe like just
that's
over
like
2 weeks.
real. That's a.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a wow.
Yeah, I was on like a fentanyl drip and shit. Like it was proper. Yeah.
So gnarly. You're definitely downplaying how like serious it was, I think. Yeah.
How long have you two known each other? I don't care who answers first.
Couple years maybe. When you came down before you moved was probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how'd you guys meet?
So my girlfriend's older brother skates, who he knows. They would skate Sydney skate parks just around Sydney together. And I was down here visiting her family, and I had lined up to go skate with Mitch. And then we're at Sid Park, and he's annihilating the hip, and I was like, because he had long hair. And Mitch, I was
Before we met. I
yeah,
had
yeah,
long
yeah,
hair, right?
yeah. So like his XCN part and shit. It's like all
Ponytail?
Yeah.
mullet, all the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah, bit of both. Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, dude, fuck. Like that dude's ripping. And Mitch's like, yeah, Ben Currie. I was like, okay. Yeah, I know that. And then apparently, I don't know if this is legit, but Mitch said something like, oh, like who's the homie or whatever. And then Mitch had said to you, like me or
Yeah. I was like, I think I said it to someone before we'd even said hello, but I was like, oh, that's Sam Larkins. That dude fucking rips. And then whoever it was might have been there with Mitch when you asked about me or whatever.
Yeah. That's
And then he just goes, oh, he just said the same thing about you. I was like, oh, that's flattering, And then from there, I was just like, oh, this guy is actually cool and genuine, and went over and said hello. And from there, it was just like really easy to get along and hang out and skate together.
Did you just feel a vibe straight away, Sam?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, especially, like, even before. So, like, we were all skating the skate park, and then, like, I was just trying this dumb trick, and he's like, oh, man, can I, like, film it? And I was like, oh, like, you don't have to, but, like, if you want to. And, it was an annoying trick. I was trying it over, like, this barrier at the, at Sid Park, like, the bank to... Yeah, like wheelchair ramp sort of vibe. I was trying a trick there, and it took fucking ages.
Fakey tray flip, by the way, just so everyone knows.
The one next to the
ridiculous
tree.
trick to do over that.
Or the one over like the Jersey barrier type thing?
Yeah, the Jersey barrier.
Jersey
thing.
barrier type vibe. Yeah. And yeah, so I was trying fakey tray flip, and it's just a bit of a weird trick to try and pop over something. So it was taking really long, and I'm like, every try, I'm like, dude, you can go skate. Like, you don't have to sit here for an hour and a half. And
he stuck with you?
yeah, the whole time.
Yes, Ben.
Had my little death lens on the iPhone. I was
Did
like,
you?
fuck yeah, I'm going to get up in the grills on this.
Olo clip.
Film
They used to be
it
called
fisheye.
Olo clips. The first ones.
Yeah.
It was like after that, there's this other brand called Death Lens.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
like a case that sits on your phone, and it has a thread around the camera.
Yeah.
So you can actually thread the lens onto the case. And then it has like a fake handle that looks like a VX. And it has like a
what?
fake microphone on it and shit too.
Proper setup.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, I have seen them, but I'm not really
It's
down
dope.
with it. Is it?
It's sick. And I've got like an app. There's like an app that you get with the case and everything. It's called Death Lens. And when you're looking at the screen, it looks like you're looking through the viewfinder of a
So
VX.
it's like a big viewfinder. No.
Pretty much like a viewfinder that you would be seeing if you were looking through the VX. It's like the same thing on your phone, and you can adjust like the exposure and
Right.
and
And you got
everything.
good footage out of it.
Yeah, I've filmed heaps of shit on it. Yeah.
It's rad how the new phones have the 0.5 function.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
It's like a fit mini
Get in the
fisheye.
grills on that too, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not that tech savvy. I've got an old iPhone. It doesn't
Well, yeah, we're both in that bracket.
That's what I
where
find weird. I'm like, I'm the old guy,
Dinosaur
and I'm like, how do I have a better phone than you dudes? It's weird. I don't know.
old guy got more money.
I was gonna say I didn't want to say it. I was gonna be like your financial status, I guess. Like
Sorry. I'm sorry.
casual motherfucker.
Rub it
over.
in, Shan. Come on.
I forgot what it's like.
Look
to
at
be-
me and my 14 plus.
It's an 11, man. Come on now.
The 11 Mega Max Pro.
Dude. I know. I forgot what it's like to be young and poor as fuck.
Times
It's
are tough out here.
But I mean, other end of the spectrum, we got less shit to worry about.
Do you think Ben makes you skate better?
100%.
Why?
Because he's very fucking talented on a skateboard.
But what does it do for you though when you're in his presence of skating? Like,
Well, it tries to make me do better.
okay,
Like,
gives you ideas.
yeah, 100%. And like, it's pretty back and forth, you know. Like,
Definitely.
we're both goofy.
Do you want to lower that mic a bit, or are you good?
No, that's chill.
Okay, sorry.
I'll
Excuse
give
me.
it a go. It was
No, sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because he, like, you already know, like, how fucking good he is on the skateboard, and like, not just trying to blow smoke up because he's sitting right here, but like, he's really fucking talented. Like, he can do like
it's fun. It's fun to
anything.
be around.
Yeah, well, because like, you know, if you take him to a rail and he says he hasn't skated it in 10 years, he'll do a fucking trick down it. You know what I mean? And so, and then that's like any spot. Like he learns very, very quickly, and I don't know. I think I don't. So I'm like trying to keep up in that way.
What about you, Ben? Conversely, obviously you guys like skating together, and I'm skating with you all day yesterday. Like, I just feel a really good vibe. Like, you guys feed off each other, and I'm watching you film each other, and you're cracking jokes. Like, you know, what does Sam bring to the plate for you when you skate with him?
He's definitely like re-sparked my motivation in terms of like keeping on top of my game, skating like as consistent as I possibly can, and keeping me motivated with like trying to think of spots to skate and tricks to do. And yeah, he's like definitely re-sparked that for me, because I guess maybe after finishing like filming my last part, I kind of have hit like a little bit of a slump where I'm like, I don't know, I definitely have moments where I'm like, what the fuck's the point? You know, I definitely have times like that. And, you know, having someone like Sam around kind of helps eliminate that sort of thought. If you've got someone else who's just as hyped and just as motivated and hitting you up and going, what do you think about this spot? Would you skate this with me and stuff? It kind of, if you don't have that and you're kind of just trying to do it on your own, it's pretty easy to kind of hit a wall and just go, oh, I can't really be fucked with this. I'd rather just go to the beach or something, you know, like, but having someone like Sam around has definitely helped keep me sort of on that course, and keep me hyped, keep me motivated. And you know, like you sort of saw, it's a good vibe when we go out together and we have fun skating together, and we skate together through the week. We go skate parks, and you know, we'll even be texting thinking about, oh, let's try this trick tonight, or like let's skate this obstacle tonight. Whereas if I didn't have someone like that, I could easily just not go skating that night and just chill out. You know, so
I'm just the annoying little brother, just pest the fucker out.
no, it's good. It's not annoying at all. It's awesome. It's helped me a lot in that regard. In like just keep doing it, stay doing what we're doing. Like he's hyped, he's motivated. Like it makes it easier for me, because even then I can go out like we did yesterday, and I don't feel pressured that I have to do something because he's keen, he's motivated. So I'm just like, let's just go wherever you want to go. Like I want to see you do something. So. Yeah, it's it kind of takes that pressure off a little bit too, you know? Yeah.
Like, so yesterday when we were watching like Sam mid-battle, you know, and like, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't envy him.
No.
Like, I'm like, oh man, like when was that loading dock spot? It
Yeah.
was dirty as fuck.
Yep.
He had no run up, and there's oil everywhere, and like, and it was high.
Yeah,
dude.
it's a big gap too.
And I'm watching him land, like, because I won't say exactly what you're trying, but you were kind of landing in a backwards way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, man, I'm glad that's not me.
Exactly. And it's like if
That
you're
shirt's
sort of
fucked, by the way.
Is it?
That white shirt's done.
get the nappy sand out.
Yeah.
So domesticated.
But yeah, definitely that sort of side of it makes it easier and less pressured for me. If you've got other people around you that are motivated and are keen, it sort of, if you're sort of trying to do it on your own and you're not going out with a crew of people that are all motivated and keen to put themselves out there like that, you feel a lot of pressure on yourself, to be the guy where like, oh, I've got the whole filmer, I've got the photographer here, I've claimed this trick, and you're expected to do it. And if you don't, you feel like you're really putting everyone out. And obviously everyone else who's there in that position understands what you're going through and they don't feel that way. But it's impossible not to get in your own head and think about it like that. And I think we could almost see that in Sam yesterday. He was like,
sorry.
Sorry. And like, he wasn't going to give up on trying to film a trick. He was motivated and we were all keen just to go along and see it happen, But if you're sort of that guy and you're there doing it on your own, that pressure can sort of build up a little bit. So if you've got a couple of people that are keen to skate, like get tricks together, both have spot ideas in mind and stuff, then, it kind of takes the pressure off just that individual a little bit, I think.
Right. I was talking to you yesterday, Sam, like, you were saying sorry a lot and like Ben just said, like we all understand, we've all been in that position,
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel like, like me, Ben and the other Ben, I know I was sincere in like, hey, I got nowhere else to be. Let's all wait here all day till you get that if I have to, Have you ever been with people who don't give you that vibe and it's like you're genuinely inconveniencing them?
Nah, like I don't think I've been really lucky like around the people that I've gotten to skate with, like up until this point and hopefully in the future. But like I think it's just a personal thing that I'm like for instance, like we said before, like going skating with Ben and like other dudes in Sydney, like going and skating with guys that I'm like, wow, these guys are really fucking gnarly and they could do something today. So I kind of like view it as like, well, you're wasting time, like if you're not trying to like put your best foot forward, if you're not committing to the trick, or if you're kind of just like fucking around, like, and not in like a way that like I have to go here and I have to do this straight away, but like as in like, like just tiptoeing around trying the trick basically.
Yeah.
Like that is a personal thing for me that I'm like, don't waste everyone's time. Like everyone else wants to like film and have fun and get those feelings from rolling away from a trick as well. So
do you think it's more because like, you're being maybe dishonest with yourself? You're like, I know I was tiptoeing around, like, and that's where the guilt comes from because it's like self-imposed. Cause you're like, I'm not trying to, I know I can try harder.
Yeah, for sure. It's like to a T. Like if if you're catching a flip trick and you're just kicking away, it's like, well, dude, like the board's underneath your feet. Like it's not fucking hard to just ride it out from that point, So
maybe
it's like in a basic sense, like if you do a kickflip and it slaps the shit out of your feet, like excuse me, sorry. If you do a kickflip and it slaps your feet and it's like you can't possibly kick it out and you do, it's like, well, fuck, man, what am I doing? Like am I just going to get into a rut of doing this like for 15 tries and then I'm broke off? And
well, that's what I want to ask you. Do you think sometimes, like, how skaters battle tricks and they just like, do you think sometimes like it is good just to have a break or come back because you're developing a bad behavior pattern?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe,
Yeah,
do skaters like just maybe persevere too much out of ego when they should maybe like, hey, listen, it's okay. Like I'm developing a bad mentality here. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I think that, like, I definitely think, like you said, taking breaks, I'll take longer in between tries sometimes. Like when I'm feeling like getting into that like vicious loop of like catch, kick away, catch, kick, you know what I mean? So when I'm in that, I'm kind of like, all right, like I'll just take a second to walk, like just cool off for a sec, have a sip of water or something, and then be like, okay, like, like physically, how to do this trick. Like, you know how to do a kickflip on flat ground. So there's no difference doing it off like a set of stairs. So like in theory, In
theory.
Yeah. And like just try and remind yourself of that and be like, all right, now we'll go and throw down and have a go.
Ben, you've produced some banging parts, right?
Thank you.
Do you feel like you have another banging part in you?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
I definitely still feel like I can skate as good or if not better than I was or have in the past. So I don't see any reason why I can't do just as good as stuff. I think the biggest thing that I'm sort of battling now is just trying to stay motivated, especially because I'm working a lot more now as well. So I don't have as much time on hand. And then in that free time, it's like hard because I want to, you know, you got 2 days each week where you can potentially go out and produce something. But at the same time, you got 2 days in the week to rest and recover from 50 hours of work, you know? So it's like if I decide that I'm going to, you know, try and skate both days, then like I'm going into my next week of work completely exhausted and not rested like most people would after a weekend off work, you know? So it's sort of like finding it a little bit harder to juggle that sort of balance. And I think I definitely agree with what you brought up before in terms of like battling a trick and going into it, you know, continuing it. If you're like in pain, persevering through it. I think like I've sort of noticed that more as I've gotten older. Like if I'm going to try a trick, I want to feel as fresh and strong as possible. And if I hit a wall where I'm not feeling strong or as in control or as focused, I'm sort of trying to be like more aware of that now. And if I realize that, then I'll just be like, no, it's not happening. Because if I couldn't do it when I was fresh and clear-minded and feeling as strong as I think I could, then what are my chances going to be now that I'm been trying it for an hour and I'm sore and I'm fucking over it, you know? So sort of like a few things that I've sort of started taking into account a bit more as I've gotten a bit older and been doing it for longer. And I think like, you know, and I also am at a point where I am really content with the stuff that I have done and I don't put pressure on myself that, oh, I have to do something today. I've got to film a part in this amount of time or whatever. Like I'm just content with doing it in my own time at my own pace. And if it doesn't happen that day, then that's fine, you know?
So that's maturity right there.
Yeah.
Like it's a smarter play in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I haven't always been that way, you know?
Yeah.
Up until the last couple of years, I was definitely more in like Sam's frame of mind where it was just like, go, go, go. You got an hour free. Let's fucking film a trick. And I'm definitely admire that too, for sure. But at the same time, I've had like that many injuries, been through, you know, filmed that many parts and been through those motions so many times that I'm kind of at a point where when I can see something like that sort of coming, I'll try and pull back from it before I fully dive all the way in and end up regretting it that night, you know?
And it's not like you failed because it's just like, no, you're playing a smart game. Like you're just going to go back.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
In regards to video parts, Sam, where are you at in that journey? You're filming a part at the moment?
Yeah, trying to collect some stuff together for sure.
And what's the main purpose of that for you?
Well, I think I just like doing it. Like I don't like, to me, I just get so much like happiness out of like just going and skating and filming and shit. So I'm just kind of filming all year round, and then like when you have enough shit to put something together, it's like release that and then just start it again, you know?
I love that answer. I want to talk about sponsorship game a little bit. I know Ben's picked up a couple of epic new sponsors, which I don't know. Is there any pressure for them for you to film a video part for them?
Not particularly, no.
They're good sponsors.
Yeah.
Right.
But like obviously I think I put more pressure on myself than what they do, you know? I was like, I have a standard on myself of what, even though I've probably slipped in that regard, like because of the things that I've just sort of touched on, but you know, I do still have it at the forefront of my mind. Like I'm always thinking about it. And there is always stuff like in my mind that I want to do or whatever, but it's definitely never because I'm being pressured to do it or anything like that. Like I've actually never been asked by a sponsor to film a part for us. You know, any part that I've filmed has always been because I've done it, and then I'm like trying to pitch it to them, and half the time they're not even keen. Yeah, you know, so it ends up just going out as like Ben Currie video part, not like Ben Currie for whatever brand or whatever, you know.
But you do actually brand those video parts. Like the logos are on there.
Yeah, but they're like it's weird. It's not like there's a difference. It's like it can be presented by this brand,
Okay.
or it's supported by this
Okay,
brand.
yeah.
And it's like actually very different. If it's supported by, it's like maybe they've given $500 to help cover the filmer or whatever like that. But they're not actually going, this is a project presented by us and,
paid for
representative of the brand or anything like that. It's just like, oh, this is something that we've supported.
Yeah. So with sponsors, Sam, I mean, everyone wants to have sponsors. Like if you really love skating and you're skating a lot. So are you sponsored?
Thankfully. Yeah.
Yes, dude. Like who's hooking you up?
Project distribution. So I get
Sick.
flowed by Real, Thunder and Spitfire.
Nice.
And then there's also a clothing company called Curb Crawlers that helps me out. And Fast Times, Skateshop as well.
Oh, Fast Times as well.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a conundrum in terms of like feeling. Do you feel some kind of like obligation to film a part, like Ben was saying? Like Ben was saying he does it for the love, but there's no element of obligation for you either.
I mean, I haven't come across that yet. I think that's like maybe when shit starts, like when the ball starts really rolling for you, I guess. But no, I've never felt that. The guys that help me out have never like once been like, oh, can you go do this or do this here and film this and get it back to me ASAP or anything like that's never happened. No, which is sick because, you know, like there's, I guess, times when you're like, well, they're helping me out. Like, I've got to help you. I'm also just trying to film it because I want to have like a return for them. Like, if they're going to support me, I want to try and support them for helping me out, you know?
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up, dude?
I grew up in, well, we bounced a little bit. Grew up in Brisbane. I was born in Brisbane. And then I think the first birthday I remember when we moved to Bendigo, which is like country Victoria. The first birthday party I really remember there's 5. And then we went back to Brisbane. So I'd say for the most part, like Brisbane is where I really grew up, where I like, you know, started really skating and.
How old were you when you moved back to Brisbane?
11, like going on 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from like maybe like a year or 6 months before we moved back to Brizzy was like when I got like my first proper skateboard and was like,
sick.
This is the shit. Like, this is what I want to do, you know? So for the most part, I'd say Brisbane.
Nice. Yeah. And how would you how would you describe like your childhood in Brisbane? Like you went to school there and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, my childhood was pretty good. I got pretty lucky, man.
In what way? What does lucky mean?
Well, my parents ran a business in skateboarding.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And that was a skate shop.
An indoor skate park. So I got to skate there a lot. Obviously, I went to school in Brisbane and stuff too. But like everything was like kind of revolved around skating because, I mean, it was the family business, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that come about for them?
So we did.
No, it's funny. Sorry, just to jump
Broody.
in. That background sound is Broody. What's Brutus doing?
He's
eating a bone.
He's chewing on his bone.
That's not bad though.
Nah, it's
But go back to, sorry, Ben, ask that question. He has a great question. Sorry.
How did your parents decide to get involved in skateboarding and open a skate park?
So we went to, so at the time my dad coached basketball.
Yeah.
And they had an American trip planned for their basketball team. And then off the back of that, we did like a family holiday.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of when I first started, you know, like getting into skating. Like I had a shop board at that point. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know, regularly going to the skate park.
Yeah.
Like maybe once or twice a week or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the indoor skate park, the Vans indoor skate park in Orange County or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
We went there and there was fucking hundreds of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents had like always wanted an excuse to move back to Brisbane.
Right. Oh, so you're still living in Bendigo at the time?
At this point, we're living in Bendigo.
Yep.
And yeah, they always, because, you know, they, like my parents bounced around, like before me and my brother were around.
Why were they bouncing around though?
My dad played basketball professionally.
So
His dad held the record as the shortest player in the NBL for a long time.
Yeah, for a minute there. I think, I can't remember who.
How sick is that?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So he played in the NBL.
Yeah.
And for international listeners, that's the Australian National League.
Yeah, Australian Basketball League. Well, National Basketball League.
National Basketball League, but in Australia.
Yeah. And so, Yeah, so they bounced around heaps.
No
And
pun intended, like in terms of they bounced around.
I've never thought of that. Yeah, so he played in Brisbane, and they loved it there because like the weather is obviously, like you guys know, it's really nice up there, like all year round.
Yep.
And so yeah, we went to that indoor skate park in Orange County, the Vans one. There was kids everywhere, and my dad was kind of like, well, this is like I guess a business opportunity, and at that point he hadn't really like looked into it heaps or whatever, but at the time, like when we came back, he was like, he searched if we had any in Australia, and the only one that came up was Ramfest in Melbourne. There was probably like there was obviously like Slam Factories. Like there were other ones.
Was he a skater himself?
Nah, he can't skate for shit.
Interesting.
That's funny.
He was like basketball through and through. Like every
straight
wake,
baller.
every waking minute was like dedicated to basketball. Yeah, but and so he was like, well, Brisbane doesn't have an indoor park, so fuck it, let's have a go, because it was a way for him to get out of basketball, and then like a way for the family to get back to Brisbane.
Right.
And so that's how the park came about.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
What a like.
I got fucking lucky.
And you were how
for sure.
old when it actually opened?
Like 12.
Dude.
Yeah. So it was like
So you'd already
1,800
started
square foot.
skating then, or not really?
No, I'd skated. Like not like I was like learning to kickflip and shit.
No
It was like Dad went off on a like he went for it, which was really
Is it
sick.
still open?
It is now, which is rad because COVID kind of screwed us up. We're like any other small business, but it was in the one building for 10 years, and then just over 12 maybe, 2010, and then COVID screwed everybody, and we had to like pack up shop because we couldn't afford to be in there and stuff, and then we've landed on the other side in Ipswich, like the other side of Brisbane in Ipswich now.
Heard of
But
Ipswich?
but it's open again, which is sick, because it was a fucking crawl to get back open.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hiccups, like
Like government regulations and stuff. Like
Insurance
safety.
costs and shit, right?
like a lot of like financial costs for sure. But like the main one, like the main fuck up was like the zoning of like buildings and council, and so I don't know if you know much about it, but
A little bit.
industrial spaces, they've got like zones like 1, 2, and 3, like graded on like what the building's like and what business it's fit for, and he's still cranking.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bit
It's funny.
crunchy. Shut up down there.
It's like he's got his own microphone, except he's eating it.
He's missing out. You see us holding ours.
He's killing it.
He thinks we're
propped
probably.
up.
He thinks we're chewing on bones.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's
He's
like,
I got one too.
Yeah, show you motherfuckers.
So keep going. So there's zoning.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of zoning and like legal sort of shit that you have to go through, and you have to be approved to be in the certain area and all that sort of stuff. And we had buildings lined up, and they all fell through. And then that's also like, so that's the council side of things, right? So that's like not even like you've worked out an agreement with the previous owner or the current owner to rent or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fucking moving parts just to get into a building. And that was kind of screwing us a bit. And we had like a lot of buildings lined up like in the same area, and they all just like kind of fell over because of council essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they kind of screwed us on that one.
Like council not approving for there to be a skate park there, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
To the point where like, we've moved all the timber into like a 18,000 square meter shed, like, big fuck off shed.
Yeah.
And
Like ready to set it up.
ready
again.
to go, and
Yep.
then it's just like falling over. It's like, nah, you can't be in here
Wow.
anymore. Yeah. Because, and like not even based on like the building itself. Like it's like, oh, so like the numbers that you've recorded whilst you're open in this other building, you need to have like this many car parks. You don't have this many car parks here.
Oh my God.
People can't park on the street.
Oh my god.
Bullshit, like trivial stuff. Yeah.
We're so overregulated in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, no wonder people don't want to start small businesses.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
look at the
there's-
hoops you got to jump through.
Oh, it's fucked, man. And then the one that fucked me up the most, which we didn't have a problem with, like, which was sick. But if you're in an industrial estate and you want to like go into this building, the neighbors have a say for like 60 days or something. So if they're like,
They can change their mind.
yeah, they can be like, oh, we don't want a skate park next to our like welding, like fabrication business. And the council are like, oh, no dramas, boom, done.
Even though you've just built everything. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so nuts.
That's nuts.
So that was like a 2-year process to like get open again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucked.
And then you're open, and then you've actually got to get the people to come and spend money.
Which is been another climb, you know, because it's a new area. Like we were on the north side of Brisbane, next to the entertainment centre, if you know where that is.
Roughly, yeah.
So Geelong, about 15 k's out of the city, north side.
Okay.
And then to Ipswich. So a whole new demographic, you know.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship with your dad?
Pretty solid. Yeah,
Yeah?
for sure. Yeah, I'm
In
very
what-
lucky.
Solid in what way? Like just good mates.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, we're wired pretty similarly. Like, we like doing what we want to do, and we get a lot of joy in doing that, and we talk about that. And yeah, very, very, very lucky to like have a good relationship with him for sure. And he's also been like super supportive of whatever the fuck I've wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah, like, I mean,
That's nice.
I played basketball when I was younger, and you know, like got into it because it was a basketball family, you know, like came from a very strong sporting like basketball background or whatever. And then there was like a crossroad there when I was like 16 of being like, am I going to try and go play basketball, or am I going to skate like full time, you know? Like, what do I want to like put all my eggs into, like what basket sort of thing? And he was like the one to be like, fuck it, go skate.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Even though he was an elite basketballer himself.
Well, he kind of did the same thing.
Man, that says so much about his character.
Yeah.
Selfless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, massively. And like but he also did sort of the same move. Like his dad played football in the VFL.
Okay.
And so,
Which is now AFL.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
No, VFL's still a thing. That's like the league under AFL.
Oh, okay. We're in New South Wales where
yeah.
we don't believe in AFL.
But this was when the AFL hadn't been formed.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
he played for the Cats.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
like Geelong Cats.
yeah.
But in VFL.
Yeah.
Your granddad.
Yeah, back when it was like just Victoria. And then they obviously
So Granddad
like,
Larkins.
Yeah. Andy.
Right. Andy Larkins.
Yeah, legend.
That actually sounds familiar. Sounds like a famous name.
He's on the 300-year jersey for
Really?
Yeah. He's like, you know, they did that in the names, like the stripes. It was obviously
Yeah.
like white and navy.
Yeah,
white and
yeah,
blue.
yeah.
And one year they did like everybody's names, like
Oh,
as the
sick.
navy or as
Yeah.
the blue,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say. And yeah, his name was on it. It's fucking
That's
sick.
rad.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, so Dad played football obviously as a kid.
Yep.
And then like he came into basketball and he was like enjoyed it more. And I'm assuming the exact same conversation happened with, you know, my dad and his old man. But like he ventured away from football and went and played basketball.
Because he just enjoyed it, spoke to him. So I guess he related that experience.
Yeah.
Except,
for sure.
you know, instead of AFL to basketball,
Yeah.
it was like basketball skateboarding.
Yeah. And then he also like, I think he likes the people in skateboarding a bit more. Well, not that's a very general thing to say, but like there's politics in anything, obviously, but like there's a lot more people in skating that he was like, this is awesome. Like everybody just loves skateboarding for skateboarding, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like a lot of people in, I guess, like any mainstream sport, it's like, I'm going to start playing this and I'm going to be the fucking best and I'm going to make a bunch of money,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, so he's no stranger to discipline and commitment, dedication. Like, does he ever talk about those values with you in regards to what you're doing?
I guess in his own way. Like it's never like a sit down chat or anything like that. But like he'll, I guess, prompt it. he'll prompt it in, you know, like if I'm like trying to learn this trick or whatever, and he's like, oh, sick, and like he'll listen to me like try and explain what trick it is or whatever, and then he'll take note of it, and then like the next day he'll be like, oh, did you learn the trick, like, or like stuff like that. Like it's not like you got to sit down and fucking knuckle it. Like you got to sit there and try. Like he doesn't do that, but he definitely like he'll keep bringing it up So like, say if you're like trying to learn a crooked grind or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm getting stuck. And then like a day later, he'd be like, oh, did you try the crooked grind last session? You know, like he'll just keep kind of being
Keep
like,
it in your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep you like
Interesting.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's heaps better rather than being like, oh, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah, and
like
he was
trying to dissect it too much or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they like both my parents were never like that, and like they, you know, in like I guess technically like it could have been very easy for them to be like that, you know, like being like my mum played basketball at a high level as well. Like it's very easy for I guess like very sporting parents to be like, all right, like let's do it, you know. But they would never, like, they never pushed us to do anything.
Legends.
The best, yeah. Fucking oath.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I got one older brother, Nelson.
How do you get along with him?
We have our moments, for sure.
Interesting.
Well, because we were, like, a competitive household, you know.
Got you.
Now we're chilling. Like,
Yeah.
But, like, when we were growing up, yeah, it was, like, fucking making each other bleed and shit, like, punching each other.
Like, a lot of one-on-one in the driveway?
Yeah, we got banned for a point.
Why?
From what?
Because we just kept fighting. From playing one-on-one basketball.
Oh, right.
Yeah, mum and dad were like, "Fuck, you motherfuckers!" Like, keep punching each other and like, you know, like tackling each other into the ground because like one of you beat the other, and it was more often than not it was me because I was the younger brother. You know, I was trying to like keep up with him like physically and like yeah. So it ended in fights a lot.
Interesting. Is he taller than you?
He would like to say yes. No, he's like, there's nothing in it. But that's just like a thing that him and I have of being like, I'm like, oh man, you're looking like small today or whatever. But like, but no, he's taller than me for sure. Yeah.
What's his interest area now? What does he do?
He plays basketball.
He's still
Yeah.
Does he play competitively?
Yeah. He's living in Luxembourg right now,
And
in Germany.
playing professionally?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been back and forth from Europe for the last 5-ish years, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, about that. Let's say 5 years.
There's a lot more money in basketball than skateboarding.
Definitely. Yeah.
Does that ever cross your mind?
Couldn't give two shits, man. Like, I don't know. I never really cared. It was just like what I was stoked on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I still love basketball to this day. Like I still follow it and watch it and still love playing it like here and there, but just get more enjoyment out of skating. So like, why wouldn't I do that? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this is like, as I'm talking to you, there's like this common theme between both of you actually. Like, I'm sort of prying about things like sponsors and this and video parts and that, but you both keep coming back to like passion, enjoyment, like those other things. That's first for you. That's first for you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
For sure.
You got to live, obviously, but like, you know, so we got to work day jobs, but like I didn't pick up a skateboard to be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be an Olympian.
Tell us what you do to support your skateboarding passion. How do you work? How do you live?
I'm a laborer essentially, but I do it for a landscaping business.
Yeah.
But on the maintenance side of things, not on the new build side of stuff. So mow lawns, mate.
Yeah.
Mow lawns and trim hedges and do what needs to be done.
Dude,
That's it.
I love that shit.
It's fun. It's good being outside.
Yeah.
It definitely, there's points of it where I'm like, fuck, dude. It's like 36 degrees.
Yeah.
Hot as shit.
You ever like mowing a lawn or something and then like, and you go near a tree and you like stir up like a wasp's nest or some shit and you get attacked?
There's moments of that. No wasps or nothing, but like here in the beaches, like ticks, man. They're a thing.
Right.
They're gnarly. And I I never did landscaping or, you know, garden maintenance, I guess you'd call it, before I moved to Sydney. And it was like the fucking like second week in, this is when I dropped a tree on your head. And
Yeah, that's right.
and
Not work related.
yeah,
though.
not work related.
That was
that was
the
to
love
skate
and
a
the
spot.
passion of
Yeah.
skateboarding. Right there.
But so it was either the tree or it was working, which I worked in the beaches on the Friday prior to that Saturday.
That's right.
And I woke up with like not like real big burly like ticks, but like little seed ticks. There was no shit. There was like 50 or 60 of them on me.
Dude.
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
crazy.
50 or 60?
No, like all over me.
Covered in them. Hey?
Yeah, yeah, like all the way down my left side of like my torso, all the way down my leg. There was none like on my balls or anything, which was sick. But
Because they like those warm, moist areas.
Yeah. And then, plucked them all out. Went to like the chemist to like see if there's like any like ointment that I should get to like put on it to make sure that shit doesn't go south or whatever. And then we thought I was in the clear, and then I woke up next day like. So that was the Sunday I came across them. So this is after the Saturday we went out skating. Yeah. And then, so I'm like, all right, I'm all clear. I can go back to work on Monday. I wake up Monday morning and I'm like scrubbing myself in the shower. I'm like, fuck, dude. There's like a bunch on me again. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
So I must have like not got one or two off, and I don't know how ticks work. I'm not that tech savvy on that shit, but they were there.
Because they inject a little bit of poison into you as well, I think.
Yeah,
so
some of them do. There are
they?
like paralysis ticks and stuff.
Ah,
they're
you didn't have
worse for
that.
dogs.
Right.
Like I'm really like alert of that for him around here.
Yeah.
Because they can paralyze and kill dogs.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
But you didn't get that vibe. Like, you didn't
Nah, nothing like that. Which was sick. But that was like, like I said, it was like a couple weeks into the job, and I was like, fuck, man, is this what it's going to be? Like, I'm going to wake up every morning and be like, well, there's something new on me, But it's been pretty mellow since then, which is good. Yeah.
Tell us about that move to Sydney. How hard was that for you?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Yeah. Not going to lie.
So what solidified your decision to do it?
Well, so my girlfriend has family here.
So where'd you meet your girlfriend?
I met her in Brisbane.
Okay.
Yeah. They lived there at a point and then moved back.
Okay.
My girlfriend had family in Sydney, and then I obviously just wanted to try and skate and be around skateboarding more. And unfortunately, in Australia, it's kind of more leaned towards Sydney and Melbourne. We would kind of just, she had finished up studying, and at the time I didn't know what was going on with my parents' business. So we were kind of like, fuck it, let's just move and have a go and go for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Not 2
years ago.
Almost a year, right?
Oh, it's only been about a year.
It's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, probably like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. What are some of your observations about Sydney since you've been here?
It's big.
Yeah, it is, right? Hey, it's really spread out.
Yeah. And the roads are really gnarly.
In what way? Traffic?
Nah, people are aggressive, man.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I swear the lanes are smaller and lanes are smaller and people just go. They don't like, no one waves.
There's not much courtesy on the road here.
No one, when you let someone in and you like get a wave, you're like, no dramas. No one does that here.
Yeah, no.
Which kind of peeves me, but
Are you a road rager?
Nah, I don't think so. But like,
I am.
Yeah, Ben is for sure.
See, that's what I don't understand about you, Ben. Like, you're the most mild-mannered guy. Just seems mellow, and then you have that side of you too.
I definitely have like a little switch where I can.
Like, what kind of things piss you off? Like
that, what he just described, like people not being courteous on the roads or just driving stupidly, fucking aggravates me.
That's a big one too.
Yeah.
Sorry to
Do you
interrupt.
click into this mode of like, I'm gonna fucking burn your house down?
I have thoughts like that.
Yeah, like,
I have no.
Why does road rage do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely have those thoughts. So no intention of acting on it. But like, I'm fuming,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why. I was thinking it the other day.
Yeah.
Just got to get there in one piece, mate.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
People are just so intolerant of one another. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not.
The thing that like actually aggravates me more now is like after going through like, I've had some close calls on the road. I might have even mentioned it on my episode where like nearly had like a head-on crash with a car that was on the wrong side of the road and stuff.
Yeah,
so what makes me angry now more than anything is just seeing people do unnecessary risk-taking on the road and like driving like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I've seen how close it can get and how easily, it can be quite catastrophic.
Yeah.
So that's what sort of aggravates me more than anything. It's like, why are you driving like a fucking idiot and putting everyone at risk?
Yeah, why are you risking my life?
Yeah, exactly.
That definitely bums me out for sure.
Yeah.
People just taking like, the gap that's not there. Or
yeah.
It's like, guys, like we're in a we're in a weapon right now.
Yeah,
We're in
exactly.
a fucking metal box going
Yeah.
like 70
Dude.
km an
Yeah.
hour. You know,
The thing that freaks me out is like how many people are using their phone while they drive. And like
So gnarly.
I've started riding my bike to work. Like I bought an e-bike.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
sick.
the raddest thing. I
Yeah.
wish I did.
Yeah.
those
sick.
things are like kind of expensive, right?
I got a second-hand one, but yeah, they can be.
Yeah.
And like, so I'm going to work, but I'm more aware of cars now because I'm like, oh, these things can fuck me up. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And just that many people, I just noticed like they come really close. They're swerving on the road, and it's because they're looking at their phones.
Yeah.
You know, while they're at a traffic light and the light goes green, and then they don't go because they're looking at their phone.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
like,
I will say, like, there's times where I'm like, skip song or whatever,
Yeah.
you know? But man, I've seen people at traffic lights like scrolling fucking Instagram.
That is
I'm
ridiculous.
like,
Sick.
guys, there's like, Instagram can wait fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Dude.
what's so like there that, like, what do you need to see right now?
dude, that's mental illness.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
Yeah,
like,
it is.
there is
It's
hiccups.
like an addiction.
a full addiction.
Yeah. I won't sit there and be like, fucking phone users, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's times that I'll slip up and I'll skip a fucking song or whatever. But in saying that, I've got the little dash thingy that
You got the
I'm
magnet.
looking up. I'm not like staring down at my leg, you know? But yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So would you say like the line of like, you know, at the moment the line of work you're choosing is more just to support your skateboarding?
Yeah, they won't want to hear that, but fuck yeah.
I think
You're not
sorry.
like sorry, just to finish the question, you're not looking to be like a career landscaper.
Fuck no.
I was just going to add to that. Like, I feel like that really is the reality of trying to be a skateboarder in Australia. Probably almost anywhere. I'd say the States, like, it's a more realistic achievement and dream. But if you're chasing that here, there's not many people that are living off skateboarding in Australia. It's like next to impossible. And if you are, you know, living off it, you've either already been to the States and sort of set yourself up and legitimized yourself and sort of gain that sort of respect, and it's obviously financially working out for you. And there's maybe, you know, a handful that are sort of on their way up to that point that are maybe able to live off it. But it's like almost impossible, man. Like every single skater, no matter how good they are, most of them are working a full-time job.
Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
works
Rob
like
Pace is
Rob
like,
Pace,
50-hour weeks,
who just
man.
produced the video part of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of the gnarliest skaters on the planet right
He's
now.
like a heavy machinery welder. Like he makes like parts
yeah,
for like
he's a
land.
mechanical engineer.
Okay, well, here's the big question, right? Why don't you move to the States? I know you've been to the States, and I know you were like, in your episode, you were like, just didn't like the vibe there, which I
No.
understand.
No.
I mean, what about you? Like, would you ever consider that?
I mean, like, I'm not going to say no, but like, I would like to do trips
Okay.
back and forth. I feel like now, you know, like when, I feel like now when skating is so accessible now with like Instagram and YouTube and, you know, all the magazine, like online outlets, that it seems to be easier to like ride for a company and like still be productive and still doing what you've got to do if you're filming, like, you know, because it's like, you know, I go skate like a spot or a park or whatever, I can upload something and then like they can see that and be like, okay, like he's skating.
Stay relevant.
Whereas I feel like 2000s, you know, whatever, like not even, you know, 2000s and back, pre-Instagram, pre-social media, it's like you got to be there because it's like otherwise they don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I feel like now a lot of dudes are like, you know, whether they're getting paid or not, like, but they're, you know, they're on these teams and they're still in their respected countries. Like there's a lot of dudes now like that might skate for an American brand but are living in Australia or they're living in Europe, you know.
It's more global.
Yeah, you just got to do the back and forth thing, I think.
Yeah. How do you feel though? Like, how do you feel about like skaters that are doing away with the traditional path of getting on a team and getting sponsored and forging their own way through creating YouTube channels?
I mean, like everyone's got to survive, right? Like, but I think, like, yeah, like everyone's got to survive, so everyone has to try and stay afloat and keep skating like one way or another. And I guess for me, it was like I grew up around like a few older skaters, and at that time, you know, they were like, here's this video, like watch this. This is, you know, shoot photos, magazine coverage, film video parts, go that route. And I like that route. I'm pretty like set in stone about that.
Okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I'm from that generation as well, where like, you know, it was all about getting an interview on a skate mag, you know, producing maybe a video part maybe every couple of years, maybe, you know, getting regular photos in magazines, and that was kind of the only way to self-promote.
Yeah.
So is it realistic though in terms of sustainability?
I mean, it might be, it might not be, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you
Don't care?
Well, you got to definitely play both sides, right? Like, but for me, it's just, I just want to be in and amongst it. I just want to be skating and doing it, you know? And like, if that means I have to work, you know, full-time or part-time, like, that's so be it. Like, I just want to do it. I just want to go and skate with the people that I like look up to and like, you know, are a fan of their skating, you know?
So you're not interested in self-promoting through social media too much or YouTube?
I mean, I guess I do it to some extent. Like if I post, like if I learn a trick and I'm stoked on it, or if I, you know, do something at a fun spot or whatever, I'll post it. Yeah. Which is, you know, like there is obviously it releases that chemical in your brain. Like when, you know, you see someone likes it or whatever, you're like, fuck
dopamine.
Yeah. So like, I guess to some extent, like I'll do it. But to me, there's like a lot more appreciation to like go work towards a body of work. Go film. Yeah, okay. Go put more like 3.5, 4 minutes. Well, for me, it's just like I'm working towards a goal. Like I'm not like, oh, film this trick at the skate park, post it online, and then it's just buried, gone, done forever. Like, which is, you know, probably the same as a video part now anyway, because of how much content there is. Yeah. But
that's what I mean. Like,
But for me, it's like I got to work towards something that I'm like really stoked on.
You want to be proud of it.
Yeah.
I respect that, man. Because, you know, like so many pro skaters have vlogs now. Like P-Rod's got one. You know, Tom Astor. I mean, and I love how Tom Astor skates.
I feel like there's kind of two sort of realms in that world. There's like the pros that have gone through the traditional route, made their name in that same sort of way that Sam and I sort of aspire to. And then once they've reached that sort of point, they've already got the following. They've already got the people that are going to watch them regardless.
So you think they're allowed to do it now?
I don't know if it gives them any more right to do it than anyone else. Like anyone can do it really, but it's like the way it's perceived. If you're not at that level already and you don't already have that recognition and that name attached to you, you're kind of put into this other category, like automatically without really doing anything different, you know?
In regards to social media?
Yeah, in regards to social media and like YouTubes and vlogs and shit like that. Like there's instantly,
good point.
Instantly skaters will just go, oh, he's just an Instagram skater. Yeah. He's just a YouTube skater. But like you can't say that about P-Rod or Tom Astor or something because they're some of the most gnarliest skaters out there that have done like the most groundbreaking shit. Yeah, so you can't really fault what they're doing. But if it's, you know,
that person will always be an Instagram skater or always be a YouTube skater now.
Yeah, pretty well, like for sure. And then like from the observant sort of point of view, like it does work for a lot of people and they get to where they want to be and they're sort of achieving what their goals are, which is rad, but you're not really going to see them get the sort of respect that the core street skaters are getting, the ones that have put in the time to film those like 5-minute videos and have created a whole career out of doing it in that sort of light. And then they're just, to a certain point, they're kind of capitalizing on this market that the other people have already created, you know?
But they've already set their name in stone and they're going to be remembered forever.
Exactly.
So I guess my question is like, will a YouTube skater be remembered? You know, are they going to be really remembered?
Probably not. Not the same way. I mean, some people are because there's a lot of this generation, a lot of them are taking to that sort of light more than, you know, the traditional like core skate route, you know? Yeah, there's probably a lot of kids out there that know more YouTube skaters than they do, you know, core street skaters or core park skaters or whatever they're into, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, I guess going back to sort of the start of that, there are like two realms of that YouTube sort of world. There's like the recognized, established, legitimate pros that are sort of, to an extent, giving people a bit of insight to what it's like to be a pro skater that you haven't really been able to see in any other way. Like pretty much just seeing Tom Astor roll up to a park and seeing the way that he warms up and then how he progresses to the amazing tricks that you see in his video part, So it gives you a bit more insight to like a, established pro skaters sort of life and the way they sort of operate. But then you've got like the guys that maybe aren't at that level that are doing essentially the same sort of content. But if you don't have the video parts and the photos and the recognition that these other guys have made, it's kind of brushed to the side and not really taken much notice of by the core skate demographic, I would say.
And I agree, but I'm just feeling like it's slowly becoming more legit. Because as time moves on, and the new generations keep coming through, I'm actually just feeling like it's just becoming more and more legitimate. And I know, like, I'm with you with the core stuff, like, the respect from the core skaters and having street cred. But I mean, let's face it, like, is that falling away? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm just brainstorming it. I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening, but it's just like something I'm starting to notice.
I don't think it
scares me.
I don't think it's decreasing in the core sort of skate world in any way at all. I think that side is still bigger than ever, and I don't really see that changing at all. I think it's just another side of skateboarding that is opening up and evolving at the same time. So I don't think that the social media, YouTube side of it is taking anything away from the core traditional sort of route that we sort of all know and watch. That's still strong and valid and, I think bigger than ever. And the progression of it is still just like exceptional.
And that's why companies need to keep spending money on producing legit videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I also feel like Thrasher is becoming more and more important.
Yep.
Like just the fact that they still exist and doing what they're doing. I know they have their YouTube and their online stuff, but they need to keep producing those hard cover magazines.
Tangible,
something about
tangible things like an actual.
You like that?
Yeah, like a physical copy of it. It's
because how old are you?
25.
See, that's what I mean. Like, it's interesting to hear that from you that you still desire something that's tangible.
Yeah, well, to me, yeah.
I think it sort of comes back to what you touched on earlier is like you grew up skating around older people that pushed that side of things, really showed that to you. And that's like very similar to me as well, It's like what the people around you are sort of into and how they introduce you to it, you're going to sort of follow suit from the way you've been shown,
Yeah. Which I was very because at the time, like some of those dudes were in the fucking magazines. Like I got lucky to be around those sorts of dudes and seeing a photo and being like, damn, like he either rolled away like this or he rolled away like this. Like I'll find out in like 6 months or a year, Yeah. But yeah, the tangible thing is like to me is really rad. Like having. I mean, I never had like cassettes or like anything like that or like tape or VHS tapes or anything. But I have I have DVDs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and
they're still tangible.
Yeah. So like having the DVD copy of like videos that I watched when I was younger and shit, like to me it's just rad because I'm like I can hold it. It's here. It's in front of me.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's kind of like my brain doesn't absorb things through the screen as well as when I hold a book or a magazine.
Yeah.
It's bizarre how that works.
In saying that, it's not to take away from like some of these videos that are being made and putting on like the skateboarding outlets. Like they're still fucking gnarly and I'll still research it up to go rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like it's just cool to hold something.
How do you guys feel about skate video premieres? Do you think we need more of them? Where it's at a venue and everyone comes out for it. Like,
it's
imagine
sick.
being at the release of the Baker 2G in LA.
Oh, man.
Like everyone comes out for it. It's this big event. It celebrates skateboarding. It creates community. But you really don't see that much anymore.
No.
Well, I can't even tell you the last premiere I went to for a full length video. That's you don't really see, and like even particularly in Australia for a long time, even for me, like getting into the scene, full length like local videos was a thing, and you would see premieres for local videos of people, like a group of people that have put the time in to make a full length.
Yeah,
that's kind of becoming somewhat obsolete at like a amateur local level anyway, if you're like trying to do that on your own with a crew. But premieres for like solo parts is probably far more common now. Like there was one last week at Young Henry's for Rob Pace's video part, which was sick.
That would have been sick.
And like the whole Monster team were there and stuff. Like Nigel was there, and it was rad. So
fuck, he deserves that.
Yeah, absolutely. So they still are a thing, probably not as common as they were before, but it's more often than not like a solo video part.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the last full length prem you went to was.
Yeah.
To be honest, probably like the local homie video.
Yeah, that's
I was
it.
in.
Yeah. And
Which
when was that?
Hyped to do that.
Yeah.
Damn, a while ago.
Was that one you were in?
That VX video.
Yeah,
that Pat
sick.
did, that BNE3 video.
What was it called?
It was called BNE3.
What was the brand?
Just a homie thing.
Oh, yeah, sick.
Pat filmed VX and he made like a BNE video, and then he made like BNE2, and then he was like, fuck it, it's BNE3. Like, just kept it rolling. And we did a prem for that, which was sick. But that was probably the last one, which was like two or something years ago.
Brazil.
Yeah. It was real fun. It's cool. Like, we went like proper for it, like at a theater and shit.
Yeah, sick.
Sick.
Oh, there
That's
was.
what I mean.
Yeah.
There was that last New Balance video. I didn't get there actually.
Oh, I didn't make it to that either.
Yeah.
That was in Sydney. That was here, right?
It was here.
Yeah.
I think it was in maybe Paddington or something. There's
And
like
there
a
was-
theater over there.
There was that. Is it Arcadia as well? There was like another homie VX video. Like,
Okay.
more recently.
Cam Fraser's one.
Was it? Is that what it's called? Arcadia.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't unfortunately get to that either, but I don't think I was living here for the New Balance one.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it still happens.
They do happen for sure. Yeah.
But I think it's like, I think what Ben said, like it's a dying thing maybe for full lengths. But
full lengths.
But for solo parts, like shops are still putting on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or in Rob's case, like a sponsor that he had with Young Henry's or whatever. Like, but it's still happening for solo parts. I think full lengths are just like really hard to get 10, well not 10, but like say get like 6 dudes to all film a video part.
Yeah. Slightly work together.
That are all sponsored by different brands. Like, it's like kind of hard to get a full length video now. Like, because it's like all the media in skating so fast now.
Yeah, exactly. People don't want to wait like 3 years to put their footage out or whatever, It's like, oh, I got this done in a year or 6 months. I want to put it out now. Like, you don't want to sit and wait for someone else or whatever, It's like everything's just moving so much faster.
Like, what do you think? What do you think about like Wes Kramer, who has no social media yet he's a pro
fucking love
skater?
Love it.
Yeah.
Why does that work? But do you think he's just one of the few people who can actually pull that off?
I don't think there's a lot.
Not everyone
of
can
them,
do
man.
that, right?
No, definitely
Like,
not.
To the extent where like you said, he doesn't even have Instagram or anything like that.
He's
Like,
got a flip phone.
got a flip
still. Yeah.
so sick.
It's amazing. I think a lot of us wish that we could revert back to that and
Fuck
disconnect
yeah, dude.
from it, but I think most of us know, like, we'll go maybe 2 days without it, and we'll be like scratching our arms.
Yeah.
We're like, what's going on the gram? Like,
You got to be sody for that to work.
for sure.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to prove, like no one to really impress or anything like that. Like,
I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I can't quite work out if he's making some statement or he's just really stoned and can't be fucked. I
I
can't
don't
work it
know.
out.
I've never met the dude, but like
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sure.
like he's a massive star.
yeah, totally.
I'm sure he's
I
still.
think-
It could be a bit of
it's
both, maybe.
both.
Yeah.
No, I did see an interview with him not too recently. It might have been like someone's cold call or something.
The Mattis Apps thing.
Might have been the Matters App thing.
Yeah, because he did a little episode with him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was talking about it. He was
Yeah.
just saying, like how much it just doesn't resonate with him, and he just wants to talk to people. He'll call people, he won't text them, and
Yeah.
just that connection is important to him. I don't know. I respect it.
Same.
I mean,
it's
it'd be
sick.
better for your mental health. Like,
Oh.
I'm convinced these things are bad for your mental health.
Absolutely.
Myself included. Like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking addicted to Instagram.
Yeah.
Hate it. I've
Yeah.
been saying that a lot lately.
Yeah.
I just
Well, it
figured, okay.
It's just like Instagram. It's gnarly. Like
It's gnarly.
Like we were saying before. Like it releases like the dopamine in your brain. Like you get hyped when you see someone like something.
addictive.
Same as like drinking and smoking and like it's the same thing. Like the same chemical is coming out of your brain. Like yeah, it's kind of gnarly that it's like so readily available all the time. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like, you know, and you don't have to work for it.
Mm.
You know, like you can work for dopamine through like landing a trick or, you know, making a nice meal will release dopamine, but you got to work for all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this, it's like instant dopamine.
Yeah.
Even being a drug addict, you got to work for that. You got to go and find the dealer.
Yeah, you gotta go
and fucking
find-
sort it out. And,
Yeah.
you know, fucking break the law, and it's like
Yeah.
this mad mission. But this is, it's like poker machine mentality too. Like poker machines, endless scrolling. That's what people get addicted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
You know, they've
Loud-
designed them so
loud
it's
noises.
so it has no end when you scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
I haven't really
it can
thought
just
about it like
yeah,
that.
yeah, like that's it. It's got no end.
Mm.
So you have to like and that's why
It's
like,
crazy because it used to. Like it used to,
they
you used to
worked it
just
out.
see the people that you followed, and once you'd seen everything from that day, it would just end, and there was nothing else, and it's just evolved to this whole other beast now.
Yeah, well they clued in like, oh, okay, that's not it's not good for business.
Yeah,
Bloody Zuckerberg, mate.
So do you have any interest outside of skateboarding, Sam? Like, are you just pure skater, like skater / lawnmower?
I mean, I still like watching basketball and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
NBA,
yeah, NBA, NBL, yeah.
Steph Currie, LeBron.
Yeah,
Who'd you pick out of those two?
Steph.
Yes,
Yeah, he's a point guard.
like your dad. Was your dad a point guard?
Yeah, yeah.
What a guess.
Yeah, short as
I
fuck.
don't even play ball. I'm not even a basketball
Yeah,
guy.
there you go.
I just know that.
Yeah, no, Steph. He changed basketball, like
He did,
straight
eh?
up. Yeah, because everyone, like being a small guy, you're always like the distributor. Like you always had to like put other people in good spots and like get your team a score.
Right.
Whereas he came into the league and like was one of the best like 3-point shooters of that time. Still is. Like I'm pretty sure he holds the record of most 3-pointers made in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's still in his fucking career. Like it's not like he made it quit. Like he's still playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he changed basketball forever. Like everyone that was shorter shifted from being a pass first point guard to a scoring point guard, or even like to the point where, you know, if you're the 2 or 3, you have to be able to shoot the ball as well as he does.
Yes.
So like that's why I'd pick him.
Okay.
LeBron's obviously a beast. There's no disputing that.
Yeah.
But I think Steph Curry did a lot for basketball.
How old's your dad?
What's the math? I'm gonna say like
50s?
I'm gonna say like 50.
Something?
Hold on.
So
He was born in 1965, 58. Is that 58?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
So is he still sinking 3-pointers? Like, does he play any recreational ball? Do you ever,
No,
does
his
he
knees
ever like?
busted.
Of course.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah, but he actually really busted his knee running water for my brother's football game. He stood in a pothole, just fucked his shit up.
ACL?
I think it was like a meniscus thing, and like classic my dad. It's like, well, if I don't know what it is, it's all good. So
What mama don't know won't hurt her.
yeah, like he's literally like, so he never got it looked at. You know what I mean? Like,
Fuck.
his knees he's like, oh yeah, it's swollen and it hurts, but like I can still walk and
He just lives in pain.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, it comes and goes, obviously.
Savage.
Like he's still like, man, he still builds ramps and shit. Like,
Does he?
yeah, still on the tools.
He sounds like a legend.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Yeah.
Oh, dude. So funny. Man.
Yeah.
Tell us about your ongoing. Well, we don't really get to see it too much, but for a long time, even before I even knew Sam well, he would always have stories of like a tally of him and his dad playing pool, and he first post would be like, "Who's your money on, me or Dogman?" Isn't that his nickname,
yeah.
Dogman?
Yeah.
So he'd be like, "Who's your money on, me or Dogman?" He'd be like, "First game, 1-0 to me," and then like they'd play to 7 every time, and like it'd be really engaging, and everyone would be like, "Oh, you know, who's got it?" Who's
It
playing?
actually
Yeah.
like it got like a little bit like Like I'd have dudes message me on like a Sunday morning because we'd always do it on like a Sunday morning before I went skating. And some days at like Sunday midday, like the dudes would be like, "Where's pool? Like, where's the pool games?"
What's the
and I'm
score?
like, "No fucking way, dude. Are you kidding?" And so yeah, I mean, when it got to that point, I was like, "Man, like I'm actually gonna just keep doing this because it's hilarious." Because it's my dad too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a pool table at home.
Yeah.
And we'd obviously just play like here and there, and then I don't know, like I said before, I'm a big fan of my dad, and like his nickname's Doggy as well. That came from like his teammates and stuff in basketball, and so it's always just funny to refer to your old man as Doggy. Like, like
Dude, you called me Doggy yesterday, and I
Yeah.
was like, I really liked that.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying that trick, you were filming it, and you're like, and I almost landed it, and you're like, yeah, Doggy. I'm like, oh yeah, that really sucks me.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's-
why.
yeah.
It's a sick call.
Yeah. And so yeah, we'd play every Sunday morning, and we'd like Ben said, I'd be like sports bets paying like $6
Yeah.
to win, and like paying $1.50 for Dogman to win, and who's your money on, and then it obviously was not on sports bet, but yeah, we'd just play, and everyone would vote, and like pretty much everyone that met my dad would always vote for my dad. Because I'd
Really?
go back through and look.
Yeah.
Because I'd like tell him, I'd be like, oh, like, you know, so and so voted for you, and like
Yeah.
he'd be hyped on that. And so yeah, anyone that's pretty much met my dad would vote for him. Anyone that hasn't met my dad would vote for me.
Because they've seen him play pool and they know how good he is, or they just love him and they want to see him win.
Bit of both.
Yeah. Okay. Sick.
Yeah. Which I mean, like he would win a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
we'd kind of trade games, like trade series, as you'd like to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. I missed doing that for sure.
It was so funny because when I was seeing that, like, I didn't know you that well, and I didn't even know that was your dad. And I was just like, who the fuck is this dog man that he's playing pool with every week?
Because we look nothing alike.
Nah.
Yeah. We
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, who the
Interesting.
fuck?
not one redeeming quality. Like
do you-
not
what do you
sorry,
mean?
not redeeming. Not one quality.
So you got dark hair?
Yeah, dark short hair,
Okay.
and yeah, I think I got mum's genes.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah, I was just, who's this fucking random old guy that he's playing pool with every week? This is strange.
Like, that's so sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And then I remember you told me, like, yeah, that's my dad. I was like, oh, well, that
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it actually started like from memory. Like I'd just like take a photo that I'm playing pool with him or whatever. And at the time, my grandparents were staying with us, and I'd do it with him too, because my granddad's like, you know, he's getting on, but like if he'd miss a shot that he could normally make, he'd lose his shit. And so I'd try and film it, just throw it up on the ground,
Sick.
because he's like,
Like full man tantrum.
no, not like proper, but he'd be like, oh fuck, mate, like what the fuck is, like, you know what I mean, like just like a
Get
little
real flustered
yeah,
and
just a
frustrated by it.
little dummy spit, you
Yeah.
know, and me being
Like an
me,
80-year-old man or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna upload it.
Sick. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So that's how the pool debacle started.
That's
But,
interesting.
Yeah, just sick.
Do you ever think like one day like you're not going to be able to skate how you skate now?
I mean, probably. Yeah.
Do you ever think
definitely.
about that day? Those days?
Not entirely, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like morbid.
No, it's chill.
Like what do you think life would look like though when sort of skating starts to fall away? What can you see yourself doing? Professional pool player?
Fuck, I wish, man. Those dudes are
Those are
so
sick.
gnarly. Yeah.
Oh, those guys are rad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you ever
like,
consider it?
to be quite like honest, like I haven't really thought about it that much. Like to me, I've always kind of been like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yes.
Like whatever, you know, like whatever I've got to do, at that point in time, then I'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I've never really thought about like, you know, like, oh, like what if, well, I mean, to be fair, like I'm not exactly like massively on the map or anything. Like I'm still just like a flow guy. So it's not really like, I don't know what's in store for me, but obviously I'm going to try and push it. But
So you're chasing it.
yeah, I mean, why not? Like,
Fuck yeah, bro. I'm so glad that you own that. Like I was scared you were going to go, oh yeah. When you really are like, yeah, no, like own that shit.
well, I mean, like to me, it's like we were saying before, it's not to fucking buy a house and like make a bunch of money. It's just so I can keep skating. Like so I can if I can just ride my skateboard every day, like obviously I'm going to do whatever the hell I've got to do that. You know?
Yeah. Do you ever consider it as like maybe you're leaving a bit of a legacy of your, you know, so like, you know, the more you do and the more you film and photos, like, do you ever consider that these things will be forever and that you'll have those memories?
Not in terms of like for someone else or anything like that.
But just even for you?
Yeah, I think it'll just be cool to look back on and be like, I did that. That was cool.
Yeah. Do you ever think that, Ben? Like, like you might not see it now, but you're like, if you fast forward 20 years, you can reflect on what you have achieved. So it's like, does that ever motivate you to like, okay, I want to keep pushing?
It definitely like is a small factor for sure. But I've even experienced that already now where I'll watch like a really old video part that's 10 years old now and I'll watch a trick that I forgot that I even did, you know, or forgot that I even skated that spot or whatever. So there's already kind of moments of that. Yeah.
That's so sick. Yeah. I've noticed that as I get older. Like, I mean, I always want to clarify, but I was never anyone significant in Australian skateboarding. I was just always there. But I did get a couple of photos in some skate mags. Like I got a photo in Slam once.
Sick.
Got a photo in Slap, you know, in San Francisco.
Sick.
And Lance Dawes took that photo. So I'm always like, I always talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, Marty Baptist found the hard copy. He's up in Byron.
Yep.
Old skater from Queensland, legend, amazing artist, has an amazing brand, Japan National. Should go and check it out, go and buy some stuff. But anyway, he found the hard copy of that mag from 1996. But just to put the whole story in context is like now that I'm in my, like, I hate to say it's like mid to late 40s, it's like, they mean the world to me, those pictures in skate mags.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I have that forever, you know, and so I have that beauty of hindsight now, like, and I realize how significant and how important it is. And I think that's a real big motivator for me, like wanting to have you and Ben on the podcast is because you guys are kind of in it, you know, and it's like watching history repeat itself in a small way. So I find it really inspiring. Like, so like watching you, sorry to talk so much, but watching you yesterday, you know, battling, put your body on the line, like, I was like getting goosebumps of inspiration. Yeah, it's rad.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And the same with you, Ben. Like, you know, just when we're mucking around filming that little line at Tech Park, it's just the end of the day, like, muck around. It was just like so inspiring just to see someone so on their game. And
I agree with that with the magazine side of things too, because when I was a bit younger, I was more productive in that side of things. Like I was tighter, well, I still am, but like I was skating with Andrew Mapstone a lot. So we were able to shoot stuff almost every time we went out. And as a result of that, we did get a lot of photos ran. And since being in Sydney, that hasn't been as easy for me. So at the time, I probably didn't appreciate that for what it was as much as I do now. I don't even actually get to look at those mags that much because they're at my mum's place in Melbourne. But I know that they're there, and I know like the stuff that I have had ran, and I know that I'll get to look back at that when I'm a bit older and really appreciate it for what it is.
I'm telling you, they get more, as time goes on, they get more and more valuable.
Yeah.
But yesterday, Ben, when you were doing that, was it Fakey Crooks? No, was it Fakey 5-0? No, what would you? Was it Fakey Crooks?
This is controversial.
Let's do it. Let's dive right in.
I say it's a Fakey front crook.
That's what I reckon.
But apparently,
you think it's a Fakey 5-0?
No, so there's. I mean, man, we could sit here for like 5 hours. Hey,
I'm ready.
Keep going. You're right. You got it, Ben.
Well, I guess like so. Pretend that's not a crooked grind. Pretend that is just a straight nose grind or whatever you'd want to call it.
Okay.
So rather than being pinched like that, it's just straight.
It was pinched.
Yeah. But in terms of like this debate, so say it's a straight grind, some people will say fakey switch nose grind or fakey nose grind. And then other people will say fakey 5-0.
There we are.
So it depends which way.
If it was straight, and let's say you weren't pinching and you were actually balancing on the truck, like that is 100% a fakey 5-0. Like, I'm sure that's my opinion.
Yeah,
but I feel like if the tail's also touching, whether it's a little bit pinched, no. If it's straight and the tail's touching, you guys can have a go. I feel like then it would be a fakey nose grind.
Yep.
But then because you're on the angle and it was pinched,
Yep.
it's fakey crook.
But then how does a 5-0 become a crook? Just from being on a
Angle.
little bit of an angle.
100%.
But if you're
But no,
going
so if
forward,
you're going regular and you do a backside 5-0, how does a backside 5-0 become a crooked grind? Essentially, it would become a susky or a salad grind, right?
Yes. See, we had this big debate at SLS.
awesome.
We had this big debate
Yeah.
at SLS
Yeah.
when Yuto, you know how Yuto does that, like Yuto NATO. It's like
Spin
Yuto Tornado where
thing.
he's like
Yeah.
backside nollie,
yep.
but then he goes like over the rail. And I'm going to say it's like a backside nollie to switch salad on the other side
Oh,
of the
yeah.
over salad. No, I'm going
Yeah.
to say, backside nollie to over salad.
It was almost like a nollie back nose blunt, but you keep going and get the truck on, right? And then come back out forward.
Like the sushi thing.
Yeah, it was like the nollie suchu grind. Yeah.
Well, I think they've chalked that one up to Suchu grind because he just
Is that what they call that Yuto,
'Cause he
that
did it.
Yuto
Yeah.
move?
yeah.
the
But no,
suchu grind. Yeah.
But the trick name debate
exhausted from
thing,
it.
man, that's really funny.
I
Where
think
are you?
the
So, okay,
easiest-
what was Ben doing yesterday? I'm going to fucking post this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go and check out the Terrible Happy Talks Instagram. I'm going to post Ben doing that trick.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
gonna
then
throw-
leave
What
a
is it,
comment.
Sam?
I'm gonna just throw a complete span in the works because it'll be fucking funny. Just call it a fakey susky and see what people say. Because it's a fakey backside 5-0 grind, right? And
But what if
So you
What
want
if
to
it
put someone's
was-
name on it?
well, so if you do a backside 5-0 and then
Yeah.
you tweak it out
Which way out? Like, so more
only-
towards a backside tail or the other way?
more towards the backside tail side is what Susky was
That's
doing, right?
Susky, yeah. But the other way is salad.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll call it a fakey salad. Call it
What he was doing.
yeah. Just to tweak people.
But what about the thing that the
fucking-
controversial point here is
Oh,
like
I'm going to
say,
social media on this one.
say
for
that trick
fucking
was
sure.
done backside, you would call it a fakey crook, right? It'd be a fakey.
Wait up. Because you guys are goofy, I get all fucked up a little bit.
Okay, well think of a
Keep
fakey.
going.
Just
Go
think
again.
of it.
Say if
Yeah,
it was
you're right,
if it was
keep going.
done backside.
Yeah, if it was done backside, most people would call it a fakey crook. Fakey ollie.
Yeah.
Switch crooks.
Fakey
yeah,
ollie,
yeah.
switch
Which
crook.
is
Fakey
so
crook.
I think
That was what I initially felt.
I think
like
the
it was.
fakey crook thing is like the only sort of hiccup for the fakey and
For the
switch.
argument. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just like went straight to the gut.
Yeah,
on
I
that
know,
one.
like that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one that
But-
gets it. Because almost everyone will call it a fakey crook.
So-
Not many people are going to go fakey salad
Or fakey 5-0.
fakey susky, whatever. Yeah. But if you did, like I
What
said
if you're
before,
going the other way?
like front side, like
Yeah.
the way I did it.
No, you went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if you're
fakey
going
grind.
the other way though?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Backside.
excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
like fakey and a switch crooked grind.
Yeah. So most people agree with that, no matter what side of the argument you're on. It's like that's a fakey crooked grind. But if I went straight and didn't pinch it, it'd be a fakey backside 5-0. It's like, how can you do a 5-0 and a crook on the same truck?
Yeah. Loopholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a controversial
Have
argument.
you heard of
Posting it, and I'm going to social media.
well caption it? Okay, so
You can write the caption.
in my belief, what I was told from people, you can't pop fakey into a switch trick.
You can't pop fakey into. Yeah, that's a good point because you've decided to go fakey. You've ollied off the tail.
Yeah.
But let's say you ollied off the other end of the board. That
Then you're
is
in
now
switch.
switch.
Yeah.
So,
So-
now
so you
you're
can call it a
doing a
switch front
switch
tail.
crooks.
Yeah, a switch front tail instead of like a half cab
Yeah.
nose slide, or the wrong
Yes.
way. So like the fake,
It's a-
like fakey,
it's a half cab
fakey
nose
ollie
slide.
switch back tail, fakey nose slide. Still, it's the exact same movement. You're
Yeah.
just doing it backside or front side.
Yeah. So like if you did a fakey tail slide, like it's a fakey tail slide. But if you ollied switch into it,
Switch nose slide.
it's a switch nose slide. It can never be a fakey nose, a fakey tail slide.
So this is and it's funny, man, because it gets everyone going.
Yeah,
to it. Like
it can just, it's never ending, you know? And most people have like a stubborn view on it where they're not going to go, yeah, no, you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
like I agree with you now.
I'm so glad that this came up.
Yeah.
But this is when the older crew come out. So like I remember when people started calling 360 flips fucking tray flips.
Yep.
I'm like,
Where do you stand on that one?
it's a 360 flip, man. Fucking hell. Like,
There's no tray.
And I'm like, since when does everyone fucking want to, like, when's everyone Spanish all of a sudden? Like,
Yeah.
French or whatever. I'm like, no, it's a 360 shove it kick flip.
Yep.
That's
Shove
what
it, kick
is.
flip. We're running shove it, kick flip.
360 flip. Well, no, it's a 360 flip, but that's
Yeah.
derived from a 360
Yeah, yeah.
shove it kick
Yeah.
flip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That being said, I call them trays because I just enjoy the slang.
sign of the
Yeah.
times.
I enjoy the slang. I'm like, hey, it's cool,
Yeah.
man. We like trees. Yeah.
Well, not
feel like a little bit-
What the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. Yes. Yeah. That's a funny one. Hey, like the whole trick name debate thing.
So when you guys are doing switch 360 flips yesterday at Green Square,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that I was not doing Switch 360
You were
flips.
land
I don't
doing
do them. I can't do
dude,
them.
how good was Ben's, dude?
Ben
Oh
was
my
doing
God.
Switch 360
Yeah,
flips.
for sure.
Dude,
He
hey.
was doing them.
Let's do a GoFundMe, fly him to fucking the barracks,
Just to do switch trays.
and enter him into the fucking Battle of the Barracks.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fucking
legit.
oath.
You
He'd
should
actually
do
have he'd have a legit go at it, I
Yeah,
reckon.
absolutely. Ben's amazing.
Barrett,
Yep.
where you at? Let's get this thing going.
What's his last name? Let's put his name out
Ben
there.
Ben
Deneen.
Deneen.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Legend.
flat ground guy.
Same deal though. He's just a hard-working tradie. You know, he's a
Aussie
carpenter.
bloke, mate.
Yeah, and he just rips. You know, like that's just what the scene is like here. Like it really doesn't matter like how good you are or whatever if you don't have this like spoon-fed like chance and like support. It's a bit of a struggle to find a way to survive and live off it.
For all our American listeners, because I know there's a lot of people in California that listen, they're kookaburras in the background.
They come on. At
never
6
gets old.
So nice, hey.
They come on at 6 a.m. every single morning.
Yeah.
They never turn off.
Yeah,
It's
That's when you hate them.
the alarm.
But it gets worse in spring. Did you know that?
I didn't know
I think
that.
a lot of birds start mating, and so they're more
Okay.
vocal in the morning.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Early. There's some
Yeah,
other
man,
bird that does the ooh, ooh. You know those
Oh
birds?
yeah,
I forget what they're called.
Is that
Like,
a
they
mating
get-
call? Is it?
Yeah, they get gnarly in spring, like
Yeah.
Hectic.
break of dawn, just ooh,
Yeah.
like unrelenting.
Mm-hmm.
And then magpies start swooping.
Fucking
Birds
hate
go wild in
magpies.
spring.
I like birds, but I
You
fucking
go-
hate magpies.
You go for the magpies, though, don't you?
Hell no. Hell no.
They just won. You should have just said yes.
You guys are so AFL, hey. Like, Queensland and
Yeah,
Victoria, and then
yeah.
New South Wales in the middle thinks we're
Yeah.
too good for AFL.
Yeah.
But AFL is such a better game, and I'm saying
Way
it.
better. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on
So much
it's
more
on
exciting.
record, mate.
Right, it
Yeah,
is. I don't
it
give a fuck. Fuck rugby. I've had rugby league thrown down, shoved down my throat my whole life.
Yeah.
Do you know? Actually, no, I'm not going to say it. Don't worry about
Come
it.
on.
Just
You've,
edit that out.
you've brought it up
Okay.
now.
I'm going to say this, but you can't air this. Rugby
I'm-
players, to me, seem like, when people try and open a door for the first time and it's like it doesn't open, so they push it harder instead of pulling it back.
I'm glad you said that.
Just like who can ram their heads into one another harder.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
that's a metaphor for a rugby league player?
I'm sorry. Fuck it, put it in.
That's so good. I love that.
Do you get what I mean though?
Yeah, I
to me,
agree with that
again,
completely.
Dude, I got my issues with it.
I don't watch it. Like
I think it's just a fucking very, and like I
It's
I
like
already have friends who are listening
can-
to this going, oh, "Fuck you, Shannon." I know who they'll be. I just think it's such a one-dimensional game. Like
100%.
strategically, I can work it out straight away. They're going to fucking take 3 hit-ups up the middle, then they're going to spread it wide.
well, the thing that
That's it.
shits, the
Maybe
thing
put
that-
a bomb up, on the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
tackle. Bum, like every time.
The thing that shits me about it is like when they kick a field goal from like 30 meters and everyone's like, oh my God. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, like there was like 3 goals from 50 in like
Dude.
the regular ass like under 12s game
Yeah,
in the country
yeah.
of Victoria.
Dude.
Like,
So
Yeah.
sick. Like, I mean, I didn't really start. I mean, I've always, because I'm a bit of a soccer background when I was a kid. That's why, I like AFL. Really, it's a similar sort of vibe in terms of the way the ball moves around the field, like left and right, back and forth, and things like that. But then I went to a live AFL match. I'll never forget at Sydney Cricket Ground, and I'm like, this game's fucking sick.
Oh, the
live.
energy if you're at a
And all
live
the
game
shit
like
that happens off the ball.
Yeah,
And I remember there was a dude who had a broken finger, and the guy marking him like off the ball was like kept like secretly hitting him on the hand to fuck with his finger. And I was like, this dude's gnarly.
It's an exciting game to watch. Yeah,
100%.
it's super exciting.
And it's like, less video ref stuff too. Like all the video refs in rugby league bums me out. Like, oh, fuck.
before we change topic, going back to my granddad,
Yeah.
watching him watch AFL football is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Does he lose his shit?
Yeah, because like back when they played, like
It was rough as guts.
handballing was not a thing.
Yep.
Everyone kicked.
Yep.
Everyone kicked and took marks. And now, obviously, the game's evolved that they can be more efficient in hand passing and like getting down to their 50 or whatever. So if he sees, a team handballing a lot, he'll just scream, stop hand passing the fucking thing. And he'll lose his shit. It's so good. Yeah.
That's
I just
awesome.
wanted to add that in there because it's fucking hilarious.
That's the other thing. Victorians are so much more passionate. They're so passionate. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of passionate rugby league fans, but
Yeah, for sure.
man,
Dude, people live for it down there.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely
And
live
there's
for
history.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
Fuck yeah, it's so sick. I remember I was in Melbourne once when the State of Origin was on, the
right,
rugby league State of Origin, and it was I remember it was a big game, and we wanted to watch it was the decider. Oh fuck, it was years ago, and we literally couldn't find a pub anywhere in Melbourne
no
that had
one
it
put
on.
it on.
They're like,
Yeah,
State of
true.
Origin, we don't give a fuck. We're Victoria, it's
Yeah.
Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get a holiday for grand final day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Victoria gets a public holiday.
That's rad. Dude.
Yeah, on the Monday or the Friday. Monday usually, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But rugby league's pretty big in Brisbane and
Oh,
Queensland.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had an unpolitical term for AFL up there. But yeah, massive rugby league. Well, rugby league union. I honestly don't really know the difference. But
Between what? Rugby league and rugby?
I do, but I don't know which one's bigger up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's league.
Yeah.
That's the
wouldn't
one
have a
with
clue.
all the I don't.
It's funny, you guys are skaters, how much do you actually sit down and watch sport? Are you really into it?
I watch a little bit of AFL being here because my mate Lewis's brother plays for the Swans, and I've
sick.
gotten to know him a little bit, and after knowing him and knowing Lewis and their family and stuff, it sort of has engaged me that little bit more. We've gotten tickets from him and gone watched a few games and stuff like that, and I guess because AFL was always around for me as a kid. And my whole family are Carlton supporters and they get right into it and stuff. So being interested in AFL isn't a foreign thing to me.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I went to heaps of games and stuff like that. So I actually kind of enjoy re-sparking that a little bit. And there was a final game in the season that's just gone and it was the Swans versus Carlton. And my brother's messaging me and stuff going oh, who are you going for? Surely you can't be going against the Blues and stuff like that. And then I sent him a photo of me wearing my Swans jersey and stuff. And I was yeah, my mate Callum's going to fucking kick 10 goals on you guys.
Yeah, that's dope.
So
That's dope.
I watch a little bit, not heaps. Watch a bit of golf too, actually.
Golf, really?
Yeah.
Basketball. Just basketball.
For the most part, yeah. Obviously, it's kind of hard, getting my brother's games on TV, but I'll watch a replay if it gets filmed and stuff like that. But so I'll watch that. I've got an emotional investment in watching that game, but then probably just basketball.
Yeah, fair enough.
I still watch football if it's a big game or the Cats are playing or something like that. But for the most part, it's probably basketball. Nice.
Yeah, I guess growing up skating and then sort of also surfing as well. I just never would watch sport because I just wanted to be out skating or surfing and it's only sort of in recent years I'm really into UFC. That's the only sport I watch. So my whole life is when I'm got downtime, it's watching skate clips on Thrasher or YouTube and then reruns of UFC fights that I missed and stuff.
I like watching UFC too
Do
as
you?
well. Yeah, for sure. Some
Man,
nights
it's
I'll just be
grown on
I'm
me.
just going to watch
Do
some
you?
fights tonight, and I'll watch maybe five
Sick.
fights in a row or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I understand it, man, there's so much going on with it and it's so smart. It's interesting. So I find it, I'm just a bit obsessed with it. But I never used to like it because I was it's too violent. But I actually don't. Now I understand it and I know how well those guys are trained and prepared. And I don't see it as violent. And they're quite protected by the referees. And I actually see boxing worse than UFC.
Yeah,
Because
right.
they're not taking the volume of headshots.
Yeah,
They
it's all
get
just
one big
targeted in
headshot.
one zone in boxing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting bludgeoned in
Yeah.
the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it, Homo. Just keep tiring him out.
I'm glad you got that.
Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah.
And then Homer wins, doesn't he?
Because the other opponent just they start falling
They
over.
just
'cause
gas
they're
out
so
from
tired.
throwing too many punches.
So sick, eh?
So good, man. Oh man, it's so good. Listen, Sam, like, what's next for you reckon? Like, just keep skating, filming,
Yeah,
and staying in Sydney.
yeah, as much as I can. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely like the plan.
Are you
Like,
thinking, like, how far? Look, listen, how far ahead are you thinking? Do you have a 5-year plan ever?
probably not.
Like, what about? Do you want to travel or anything?
Oh, definitely. Like, I definitely want to travel as much as I can. Like, like whatever way, shape, or form. I want to try and travel for sure. So always trying to save to do that, whether it's for skating or just in traveling in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like 5-year plans, probably not. But just, I mean, the only like foreseeable future is keep skating and filming and enjoying myself.
Well, like for those listening, like, when do you think you're going to put out a Sam Larkins video part? Is there a timeline there?
Roughly, maybe like early next year. Maybe, I don't know.
You feel like you've actually stacked some clips?
Sam's done some fucking really gnarly shit since he's
So
been in
you
Sydney.
have got some clips stacked.
Yeah, some stuff that I'm stoked on for sure. Yeah.
Are you stoked on the stuff you got yesterday?
No, I'm hyped. I'm
like, it's definitely usable.
I think so. It's a nice.
I think so. Ben, what do you reckon? We won't say what it was,
sick.
but
It
you
was
reckon?
sick,
Yeah, Ben.
For sure. That spot was rough as guts and gnarly, and
probably wouldn't. Sorry, you go.
probably like a spot that won't have many tricks done on it. It's not going. People aren't going to be going there to session that thing for fun. Like, it's you kind of got to be all in to skate something like that. So,
And that's what's so gnarly about skating. Like people will watch that clip and they'll go, "That's pretty sick," but they just have no idea of like how much he was contending with.
Yeah,
you know? Like, and when I seen people started to, like, people that were living in that building, they're walking out. You had to deal with that.
They were actually, to be honest, they were like
cool.
better than like I have previously experienced. Like that we all experienced. You know? Like they were pretty mellow. I think maybe
no one gave you any grief at all.
Nah,
really?
body corporate building. They're probably like unless there's like the owners living in the building, then they probably don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, there's factors that are annoying. But I mean, I'm still hyped on it. It's a nice little
It
filler.
was sick.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Do you think you'll go back for that first trick you were trying? Not the one at Pier.
The loading dock spot.
The
right?
loading dock spot. Yeah. I'm sort of like trying to be all secretive and stuff. Would you go back for that one?
Yeah, I would say so.
You have something there.
I feel like
sure.
you got it.
Try to get something. I don't know. One of the two tricks that I tried probably.
Yeah.
Just need to be better at flipping my board.
I wanted to bring
Stop it.
bring it up before we finish. I wanted to ask you about a trick that you filmed in that part that you talked about, the BNE 3 part.
Yeah.
The full cab backflip. That was the endo, right?
Yeah, that was the last trick.
So like that's obviously a trick that not many people really do, particularly in Australia. Like I don't really know anyone else that has ever stepped to trying a trick like that, or definitely not that specific trick on a street spot. Could you tell us about like the process of getting that trick and like what's it like getting to a point to take a trick like that to a street spot? Because it's like one thing to do a trick like that at a skate park, but to actually do it on like a legit 10-stair rail is like pretty fucking mind blowing. Oh. So what can you tell us about doing that trick?
I mean, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it was a process for sure. Like the local skate park that I was skating, every day, it had a barrier. It was nowhere near like the size of what I tried it on.
Like a down rail sort of barrier.
Yeah, sort of thing.
Like a hubber rail.
Yeah. Like like a standard park size rail, like equivalent of like a 5-stair rail or something like that. So I was just doing on that a bunch, and like just trying to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Like every time I skate, just try to go do one. Like even like I didn't have it in my head. Like I had it in my head that I wanted to do one somewhere.
Yeah.
Just didn't know what rail.
Throughout the process of like learning it and getting consistent with this trick, you're like, I'm going to film this at some point. But I don't know
Well,
where
I'd
or
like
when.
to.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of like immaculate rails in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of good rails, but like for a techie size
For a
rail,
trick like that, it needs to be like pretty precise and perfect.
Yeah, for me to
work
feel,
out.
Yeah, for me to feel confident going into it. And the one that there's probably two main ones. There's like the red stair, like 5-stair one that like it's been annihilated. All the Bay dudes have like completely destroyed that thing.
Yeah.
Nugget also switch flip 50'd it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know the
Shane
one.
goes part or whatever.
The one that it's
Goes
like
to grass.
it's like a shotgun rail, right? It's like two
Yeah,
rails.
yeah, and then there's the side ones.
Oh, right. True.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's like a big brizzy spot. Like
Yep.
anyone that's skated a handrail in Brisbane will have skated that thing. And that was an idea at first. And then
Did you try it there at all, or did you go there to try it at all?
I didn't in the end.
No.
I think one of the homies may have done it.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I was like, well, that's out of the question.
Yeah.
And so the next one, I was like, fuck. Like, there's not. Oh, because, like, obviously, you got to find the rail if it's on the right side. And then it's like if it's the right size.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we landed on that. And at the time, that it had been pretty smoked. Like, Tommy Kiki crooked it and
Yep.
backtailed it, and so did Bogus. And
Yep.
And like, there's been shit that's happened on that rail, and so I went
And Jesse nollie crooked it,
the
right?
fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like, no, oh my god.
Was that before you did yours?
Dude, Curtis hadn't even got there to shoot the photo. He rolled away from a nollie crook.
But I mean, he did that before you did your cab back.
Yeah,
rip?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So on one, I went back a couple of times for this trick.
Yeah.
On one of the sessions, Jesse came with me, and I dragged the session there or whatever, and I was like, do you want to try something on it? And Jesse's like, oh yeah, like got a couple ideas, and like he had a few tricks in mind that he wanted to try, and then he tried something, and then he was kind of over it, and then he's like, oh, I'll just nollie crook it. That was exactly what he said.
Yeah.
How
No.
many shots?
Fuck, 5, 6.
Nah.
max.
Really?
10
like
stair
a 10
handrail.
stair rail?
Yeah.
Wow.
And keep in mind, it's brick at the top, so it's not completely level. And then it's Pebblecrete landing. The exposed aggregate.
So he was nollying off bricks.
Yeah. Yeah. Nollie crooked the fuck out of it. And then, little side thing. But, I landed on that rail because I had backlipped it a few years prior.
Yep.
And in terms of like the size, like, yeah, it's a 10 stair rail, but in, like size wise, it's pretty on point. Like, it's not too tall. It's pretty mellow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I wanted to try it on, there was grass on the other side.
Yeah,
So
right.
in my head, I was like, okay, I can pop it this fakie, and if it feels whack, I can just kind of bail to the
You
grass.
can sort of escape. You're not like
okay.
trapped in the middle of the stairs.
Yeah. And, obviously it would have been a lot gnarlier to do it on the middle one, but also the run-up doesn't really favour the middle one.
Yeah.
Like, most of the tricks, like kickflip crook, happened on the side
Yeah.
one. Like, because
Yeah.
the run-up's a bit wider.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, so I got close. I think I went back maybe like 4 or 5 times.
Right. What was the first time like? Did you get close?
The first, I was like sliding it,
Yeah.
but then, like I'm going a lot faster than I ever have to try that trick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like I'm sliding it a little bit longer in that sense as well.
Because the rail's longer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of like shit that I'm like not really used to.
Yeah.
So I think I might have like slid a few on the first one, on the first session, and then like obviously didn't roll away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second session, probably the same.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like the third session or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like hit my head prior to I properly hit my head prior to this trick or whatever.
So wait, you had tried it a couple times, and then you took that slam where you hit your head real bad, and then just still had it in your mind to come back for it?
No, different time. Sorry, the proper head hit was like years before.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, not years, maybe like a year.
Yeah.
And then I went to try this trick, and then like I did hit my head trying it. I like slipped on the Pebblecrete and kind of like headbutted and split my eyebrow open.
Right.
And that kind of rocked me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, like I haven't really like properly hit my head since
Yeah.
hitting my head.
Yeah.
And so that was the third time, so I just flagged it. And then the fourth, like one of the next time I dragged, this is all during COVID as well. Pretty irrelevant, but not at the same time. We had that zoning law or whatever. So I dragged Pat out of that 5K radius or whatever it is. And we get to the rail, and then this time I like can't even fucking pop at it fakey. I'm like, fuck.
It was just one of those days where it just wasn't
I was
going
like,
to work.
I said to Pat, I was like, this isn't working, man. Let's go home.
Yeah.
And then the last like time that I rolled away from it, I did it. Like I'd say every session wasn't like 30, 60 tries or whatever, but it took time because I was, like every time I went, I backlipped it a couple times. Like,
Right, okay. Yeah.
And then, And then from there, it was like, all right, like throw a couple of like just kind of hairball ones and see where
just
you're at.
pop the fakie and just sort of get the feel for jumping down it that way again.
Yeah. And then like, 2 or 3 of those tries, then it's like, all right, now you got to start trying to put it in.
Yep.
Yeah. And took a couple of slams doing it, but I'm fucking beyond stoked.
Yeah, I bet.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
One and done.
Yeah. Full cad backflip down a 10 stair rail.
Not going to go back like 2 to make it true, or
Fuck no.
One and done.
Yeah.
one and done for
Yeah.
sure. That sort of trick. Jeez.
Yeah, if you guys listening haven't watched that part, you should absolutely do yourself a favor.
Well,
and go
where
and
can
watch
people
it.
find that? On YouTube?
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube, and I think it's on the Journal as well. I think
sick.
I think the Journal uploaded it, but it's on YouTube as well
Sick.
under like Pat's channel.
I'll actually link that to this episode's show notes. So if you scroll down, find a link to it. That'd
Sick.
be nice and easy for everyone.
See me yell a little bit at that time. There was a lot going on, so I was being angry.
What, the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like
Sick.
during like my parents' business was like folding and shit.
Oh,
so
right,
I was like
Stressed.
angry little man.
Yeah.
So I was stressed out about everything.
Get it? Life does that, eh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all right.
How do you deal with stress in life?
I just try to keep thinking like left foot, right foot mentality. Just like keep on keeping on, It could be worse.
One day at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whatever's the dog man would always say like be present to the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
And
doggy.
he kind of like instilled that into me and my brother. So that's kind of like always been like, you're doing this right now, do this. And then when this problem arises, take care of it. Don't like, crowd your head full of like shit that you can't deal with like right at that very moment.
Right. That's good advice.
That is good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been epic. It's been such a pleasure. And if you're listening, often when I do these podcasts, a lot of cool stuff happens in the lead up to the podcast, like the day of the podcast or the day before. I often, if it's with a skater, we'll go skating all day. And that's what I did yesterday with Ben and Sam, and also their other friend Ben, who's a filmer. And I'm starting to do a series of episodes on YouTube called Before the Episode. And it's just basically raw files of the shenanigans that goes on in a day of skating in the city, in Sydney with these guys. So go and check that out. So make sure you subscribe to the Terrible Habit Talks YouTube channel so you can get notified. Now, listen, Sam, I ask all guests to come to the podcast with a cause they want to support or advocate for. Yeah. So have you got anything for us today?
Yeah, Beyond Blue.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, if you're feeling down about anything or whatever, like don't hold back. Got to reach out and try to get it sorted.
Dude, I love that you advocate for that one. So thank you.
Awesome.
And that'll be linked in this episode's show notes as well, where it says Sam advocates for Beyond Blue. Go and check it out. Educate yourself and manage your mental health just like you manage your physical health. It's very similar. And a big thanks to Mr. Ben Currie for co-hosting today.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Yeah,
Thanks,
it's
man.
been rad.
Thanks for putting us up too.
Yeah, stoked.
Made it
it's
happen.
worked out well. Yeah.
Dude, this is the second time I've recorded out here on Ben's property, and it's so serene and it's magic, man.
It's nice. Yeah, stoked to have you guys out here. It's been rad. It's fun yesterday too, and keen to see all that footage come together as well. It was a real fun day.
Fun, yeah. I had a great day.
Sick.
Is there anything you want to end on, Sam?
Thanks for having me.
Dude,
really
pleasure's
appreciate
mine,
it.
dude. Pleasure's absolutely mine.